Hi, welcome to the show. The script says that we're supposed to be telling you how bad you all did. That's what Electric said last time. Electric's not here, so you've got me. Except this time around, everyone did really, really well, which makes it really hard to rank things. Hi!
This is true. Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the FDL Season 2 Power Rankings show. This is the first segment you'll be seeing. It is a 3-segment bit. They'll all be recorded. They were all going to be recorded by separate groups of people. But Electric had some issues last minute, and so this is the Draft A segment, which is coming in first. So you get to see my beautiful voice at the very beginning. This bit is hosted by Tetris. That is myself. There's the host of the league. It's by everyone's favorite player, Weeese.
Oh, geez, that's too kind. But hello, everybody.
And it's Jaywalker. Hello.
Oof.
Oof. Where is he? Where's he gone?
PC crashed. He'll be back in a minute.
Oh man. Okay. Look. You know what? That kind of sums up exactly how this whole thing is going to go. He'll be here when he's here. It's just suspense.
It's like Draft B.
Yeah. Alrighty. Oh my god, Draft B. I guess we can talk about a tiny little bit of how long that took. I was getting actively annoyed at the end.
Hey, all I did was take one 12-hour nap, and welcome back, Jaywalker.
I don't know what happened. I tried to save the image of Draft A, and my whole PC just crashed, and my speaker started playing Morse code.
Well then, people who have, everyone who hasn't heard him, hi, this is Jaywalker.
Hey, what's up?
Yep. We were just complaining about how long DB took to draft.
Oh, yeah. And then my speedrun draft, yeah.
Bro, 1 every 3 minutes is cracked.
I was just having fun with it. I already had all my picks in the chat typed out, so as soon as whoever was picking on either side of me was done, I hit enter as soon as they sent their pick in.
Yeah, you were known for that apparently. Seph sent me a message dude, he responds in 0.1 seconds. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, you can go check the message times. It's not in the same minute for every single one of my picks.
Alright.
Besides the one I disappeared for 3 hours with.
Oh yeah. This is how this looks. Ignore the fact that Splatty's hyperlink is red. I had to check the hyperlinks worked. So it's the table of contents. I get to click all the fancy little buttons, and it'll take us there, and we just talk about them. We can go in draft order. We can also quite literally pick any of these and go in any order. I feel like it's only fitting though to start with Splatty. So this is Splatty's team. I don't think I want to announce them all. Oh, it's got Screamtail, Goldango, because you can read. This is the team there. I'm just gonna cut straight into because normally I'm gonna show this at the end. I'm gonna cut straight into this. The experts' official ranking for this one is number 1. 10 to 12 of us all voted on the orders, and then we averaged them out. Splatty's was consistently top 3.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I also picked Goldango and Goodra because they're so powerful, and with Splatty leading this team, it's... Okay, I know I'm not supposed to take that into consideration. Take that all out, and the team is still powerful, but like you put in that description there, best builder with the best team, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, looks like,
Just looking at that first 4, it's such a solid top 4. Even after everything past it, it's just terrifying.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, Jay, you haven't met Splatty, but oh dear God, whatever you think he's about to do with this team, he's just not about to do it.
Oh, so he just goes with all the weird sets just to throw you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. I like that.
He beat me with a choice band Talonflame next to Stone Journer, which one-shot everything with Priority Bravebird.
To be honest, I'd be scared of his Cacturne and Vespiquen. He's probably got something going on with those two, and Passimian.
Oh, well, yeah. See, I know that the Cacturne was actually his 3rd pick. He wanted Go-Goat, and then he wanted Sawsbuck, but they both went in the same round before him.
Oof.
Just some notes. Splatty has the highest overall base stat total in the draft. in my opinion, he also has the highest quality of mons. Like, I don't see, with the exception of Luminion, I don't see, like, everything else there is good. And I've said, like, what on earth do you prep for with this team? Like, do you prepare for Screamtail? Do you prepare that to be defensive or offensive? Do you prepare for Perish Trap? Because it's there. Like, you have to prepare for, like, Stall and, like, Hyper Offense, and this is terrifying.
Just so well balanced. Like, it doesn't have a hole in it anywhere.
No. Yeah,
if I can recommend anything, it's definitely bring something to break his screens. Knowing Splatty is a very prominent screen player.
Oh, yes, Splatty loves his screens. For everyone who wants a piece of advice, brick break or, like... Does Haze break screens? Is that what I'm thinking of?
That one Tauros guy, right? There's someone that brought 2 Tauroses, isn't there?
Yeah, it's not in this draft, and... Oh,
yeah.
That choice was a weird one by Eevee, because Eevee was the one who did that.
I'm excited. It would be pretty cool to see both.
We will get back to the contents page. This is how it's going to look for the whole video, everyone. Do we want to go across the list like we're supposed to, down the list, or just pick a random person?
Down the list, Japanese style.
Down the list, Japanese style. So we move into drops. Okay. In my opinion, too much support. Like, I think that Iron Valiant and Gyarados, Salamence, Mimikyu, Scizor is good. And then I think that everything else there kind of falls into redundancy. Of, like, you've got Bellibolt and Pikachu, both of which, like, do support but can be offensive. You've got Heracross there, and what's Heracross really doing on a team with Scizor there?
Yeah, you're not going to bring both of them at the same time, so unless you're going to try and do something weird with the Heracross, but Heracross just isn't as good as Scizor, so it's a weird pick.
Yeah. The expert's opinion on this one was that this comes in at number 8, so it is underneath the halfway mark, but not quite in that bottom 3 yet, so, you know, it's, like I've said, it's still very solid, and it still drops, and others had him ranked as high as number 2, so clearly, like, there's something to see here. I just feel like I feel like even that top 5 doesn't all want to come together. Like, you don't want to bring, like, Gyarados, Salamence, Gyarados and Salamence don't want to be together.
Here's what I would say about this team that I'm starting to see very quickly. You've got a lot of good stuff, like you said, in the top 4, and it seems like everything else is just going to permanently revolve around that. So he's got, like, 8 supports that he can bring any of them, and maybe tweak some strategy a little bit, but it sounds like the strat's going to be mostly the same through and through. There's not a lot of variance going on.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. J-Walker, you have any other opinions?
One thing when I was going over this is he does have so few weaknesses. Like, his team is just going to be hard to do tons of damage against because he doesn't have a lot of moves that are going to hit him super effective. Like, I think let me find my sheet. Gotta find it. Everything crashed.
No.
Yeah, he only has 30 total weaknesses on his entire team, which I think there's only one person that I've seen across all 3 drafts that has less than that, and it's Loafus.
Yeah. I have on someone's page here that I think this is the best team defensively. And it wasn't drops, so that's an interesting take.
It just looks like it's gonna be hard to hit, but
oh yeah,
like it just has a solid core.
Oh, definitely. Sweet. We will go back to the contents page, and we'll move down to who you just talked about. We'll move into Loafus. Like I said, this is actually one of the ones which I said I'd like some other people to comment on, because the expert opinion here is that this is dead last. To me, I said this doesn't feel like a cohesive draft team. It's more like it's 12 good mons that were just, like, put together on a team. And because of it, I feel like that could be a good thing. Like, there's nothing to expect there's nothing to prep for. Like I said, I personally had it higher. I think I had it at the 7 or 8 mark. Like I said, it's, like, just beneath average. I think it's a truly average team. It's, like, good defensively, it's semi-good offensively, but the ranking is in, and yeah.
Like you said, it has a lot of very good individual Pokemon, like Sylveon, probably best fairy type that isn't Fluttermane, Garchomp, always amazing. Corviknight can be a pain if you're not ready for it. But then there's other mons like Skovalian, which, from the looks of it, unless you're gonna waste a turn with your Sableye setting up Sun, that thing's just not gonna be able to do a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, this seems rather interesting because based off of the rules that we did it on, I certainly could not place this higher than 10th. I had to not factor Loafus into there, so sorry, Loafus. That being said, the team itself, I mean, I did get to watch it play today. The Skull Villain, it became unkillable. It had like +6 in every stat with the Moody boosts. So it became very, very, very fun for the preseason, one of the first matches to play. That being said, yeah, no, I don't know. I agree. There's not a whole ton that you can do with this. I feel like the issue is that there's no flow, there's no direction, and without direction, you're less likely to, how do I put this? Get what you want done. But I'm very curious to see how Loafus pilots this because objectively speaking, yeah, 10 to 12. But I mean, subjectively, ooh, we got all sorts of stuff that can happen here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I thought that sums it up pretty damn well. We'll move in. Okay, you know how I said like there was someone who I'm gonna need someone to explain this to me? Welcome to eldentista. Okay, like, oh wait, that's not the right person. That's also the wrong button as well. Whoops, you saw nothing. Welcome to eldentista's team. Spoiler alert for Patillac, I thought we were going like horizontally. But the experts official ranking is 2. I hate this team. Like I hate it. Like, there's no synergy outside of Fluttermane and Torkoal, and then like you've got like a Trick Room kinda, but the Trick Room kinda is Slowking, Gothorita, Torkoal. That's it. And then like you've got like a Sun mode, but it's not. Again, it's not really. It's like your Sun mode is Torkoal, Jumpluff, and maybe you say Baxcalibur. Oh no, because Baxcalibur's not even immune to fire. There's way too many NFE mons. Like, in terms of mons with bad stats, Gothorita, Jumpluff, Morgrem, Magneton, Meditite, Crocolop, Swallow. Like, that's 7 mons with bad stats. There's so many offensive types. There's no offensive so no offensive grass type. There's no real offensive ground type because like there's nothing to activate an anger point on Crocodile. Like I said, someone please hype this team up for me. Like, I truly think this is really bad. But then, like, everyone else had this number 1, number 4, number 3, number 1, number 2, and I'm like, okay.
It'd just be them over-focusing on the Fluttermane and Torkoal. They just think that that's just going to be a really good pair together and just pushing it way up.
Yeah.
All right, my friend, you want the hype?
Go for it. Give me the hype.
And get in line because eldentista is the best doctor on the block. He's got a lot of patience and he's going to need it to play this team. He's got Torkoal and Slowking, right? Blow things up in the Trick Room as soon as Slowking's got that off. And if necessary, force a chilly reception, back it up, swap the weather, throw in Baxcalibur, big defense, nice and slow, also has priority. Outside of the Trick Room, we got Fluttermane, we got Jumpluff putting things to sleep and blasting things with Choice Specs Moonblast. And then Morgrem coming on top, just always going to be on every team, pumping out all the screens, all of the statuses, all the support. Croc Meditite, we're going to bring them because we're forced to. We don't give a shit about them. They're bad. I think he had to get them, so that's fine. Swallow, no idea what that's going to do, but I got you on the hype train. This is going to be a fabulous team, but he's going to have to play it methodically. So we'll see how it happens.
Yeah. A mandatory drafting rule is something to keep in mind here, yeah. The Meditite and the Crocorock, yeah. But Jay, what were your thoughts on this?
Like I said, it's just solid top 2, and then I think that's kind of where the hype got put around it. Like, it does have a few options that it can do. Jumpluff, Torkoal is always annoying. But it's going to be each team, you can just prep for Trick Room and Sun, same time. Then you kind of got them covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say this is its defining weakness. It's a Sun Trick Room team, first and foremost. Can't stop that.
Yeah. I don't know. I just, even with this conversation we've had, I don't get the number 2 pick. But, you know, like I said, there was like 10 experts which put their picks in, and no one except me put it outside the top 4. So, clearly someone's seen something. we'll go back and we'll go into Carney this time, clicking the right button. I'll explain the first sentence. Carney at number 7. You might look at this team and go, wow, it's really good. Why is it so low? It's defensively awful. Like, we've looked at like all the type matchups, and I think Jay Walker, you've looked at them all a little bit as well. Like, if you pick a type, there's an 80% chance this team's weak to it. It's absurd. I said that'd be fine if Carney's playing hyper offense. Like, you can have a really weak team if you're planning to go first and kill everything, but he's not. He's got Iron Hands, which is slow. He's got Palafin, which needs to switch out. He's got Cyclizar, which is like one of the best pivoting mons ever. Farigiraf, which is like one of the best support mons ever. This isn't a hyper offense team. All these mons individually are very, very good, with the exception, I think, of Toxapex. And I'm sure he'll be able to make it work. But I think it's like, the team looks good, but I feel like he just drafted one mon at a time.
Yeah, it's not very together. Like, I feel like if you bring solid ice type, it's going to do quite a bit against, like, the Go-Goat, Squawkabilly, Vivillon. They're not going to want to take any of that.
The Cyclizar.
Yeah.
If it has, if it's got the freeze drive, there goes Palafin.
Yeah, Bundle kind of rolls this team.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally I'd say that Terra is a saving grace here, but when you have 10 Pokemon weak to the same one, you can't tear them all. I'm curious to see what happens here, because there's a lot of support that he could theoretically just support the Palafin, right? Like, how many games have you played where you just support the 1 DPS and it takes care of everything? And Palafin's the 1 DPS that can do it, but we'll have to see some really good play with Cyclizar and Vivillon, because those two are generally pretty weak, even if they can do really good things, and so I'm curious.
Yeah, you said about the DPS, and like my brain went back to like 2016 Soldier 76 vibes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, like the Palafin could be. Who is the Trick Room? Oh, it's Farigiraf. Farigiraf and Palafin, Farigiraf and Iron Hands in this team as well. Like there is like there's a Trick Room mode to respect here. My problem with the Trick Room mode was outside of those two, and then maybe you chuck Vivian in there for Pollen Puff. What else goes in Trick Room?
If you had to, maybe you could put Go-Go in there, but no, you're pretty right. There's not a lot of Trick Room that you'd want in here.
Yeah.
Toxapex, if you're really going for it.
Yeah. I mean, he has it, so he has a plan for it. You know, it's doing something.
Yeah, with Merciless, right? And Toxic Spikes, so we can just crit everything.
Oh, probably, yeah. Jay Walcott, what was your thoughts on this?
Like you were saying, it just has a lot of things that can roll. Like Bundle will clear most of this team.
Bundle
and
clears.
It's just gonna have to really.
Bundle. Like, let's say Iron Hands isn't Assault Vested. It clears Iron Hands, Palafin. It clears Tauros, Vivian. It clears Rotom-Mow, Cyclizar, Lycanroc. It doesn't clear Frostlass. It clears Squawkabilly, Go-Go, Toxapex. It clears everything except 2 mons, by the way. Like Frostlass and Farigiraf are the only things which don't die instantly to a bundle, and then you give the thing Terra Blast and make it Dark type, and well, there's all 12.
Nice. We can do this.
You just gotta hope that he does not play the bundle user in this draft, then.
Who is the bundle in this draft? I forget. We'll find out.
Oh, that's Patillac.
Oh, it is Patillac. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, so that is another... Patillac will be a great conversation when we get to it. tdKale. This team is weird. Its official ranking is number 11. It's amazing offensively. It's amazing defensively. Its Firewater Grass core is incredible. Iron Moth, Azumarill, Breloom, excuse me. But outside of, like, what? The top 5 you see down to Bisharp, this team falls off. Like, it's like, okay, I get that, you know, Electros is your electric type, and Masquerain has Intimidate, and Fletchinder just sets Tailwind, and Sneasel is for Fake Out. But I've said something which I think we've already said it about someone else, and I think this is even worse in that case than it. He's really going to struggle in not being predictable. we said about whoever had the Salamence and the Gyarados. We said that those two don't want to be together, and so you're forced to play around a bit. I think that Iron Moth, Dragapult, Azumarill, Breloom, Bishop want to come every single week, and then that becomes so easy to prepare for.
This team, it gives me big, like, he got sniped on every single pick after that top 4. Like, so he got sniped, and he just went with whatever thing that he could think of that did something similar to what he wanted to take.
Yeah, probably.
Because did he draft somewhere in the middle?
tdKale is... Well, no, these are in drafting order, so, like...
tdKale second last.
11.
Yeah.
11, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
second last. So if it's second last, that's kind of makes it even worse, because then being second last, you usually get your back-to-back picks.
You get back-to-backs. I was going to say, I was second last, and I got to play around with a lot of, okay, I can take these two at the same time type of vibes, you know?
Yeah, that was same for me too. So that makes us even weirder, because then definitely not getting sniped.
No. And then, if we look at that in that context, like, he had second last pick. Let's just say, theoretically, he took Masquerain and Fletchinder, like, back-to-back. On a back-to-back pick, you use the ability to get, like, a combo, to get Intimidate, Dual Tailwind Setter. Aren't both of these 4-ups weak to Rock?
Yep.
Yeah, like, 11 definitely makes sense. Like I've said, like, I feel like with Fletchinder's support, this team is going to take a lot of turn 1 KOs. Like, Tailwind, kill something, done. But then I also feel like I said, the biggest one for me is just that it's going to be so predictable to play against, I think.
So while I do agree that defensively it's got some cool things going on, I actually think Kale drafted all offense, and that's all they've got. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, get some really cool scenarios here, right? Where you have got Palossand and Oranguru. So in the Trick Room, you could maybe fling a berry to Palossand, proc a weakness policy, get a ×3 boost or whatever, and then Terra into grass and start Giga Draining everything, or whatever. You've also got the immunity of Palossand plus Iron Moth, where it could start spamming Discharge, and it won't hit Palossand, or it can spam, what's it called? The Sludge Wave next to the Bisharp with a Violite, which has maybe Sucker Punch or something else. There's a lot going on here that could happen, but I don't know. There's not a lot of I feel support. There's not enough support to actually pull it off. So I feel hard offense is Kale's only objective here, and that's probably why it's got an 11th in ranking.
Am I being blind right now, or does he have a way to pull attacks? Does he have like a Follow Me or Rage Powder mod?
No.
Not necessarily. Best bet would be maybe if Breloom gets it. I'm not sure, but I also wouldn't do that.
Breloom does not get Rage Powder. Nothing here gets Redirection. I believe Oranguru gets Ally Switch, and that's it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
And if Ally Switch is your only redirection, this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, but it does have a lot of offensive power. Plus, Breloom and Spore is just annoying. So.
Oh god, yeah. We'll go in ZXC, so we go back down this list now. So I said before that I'd put it on someone's page. This is the page. I said that ZXC has the tied best team in terms of defensive coverage. In terms of, in my math at least, of, you know, how many type weaknesses things had, I had ZXC as the best.
I kind of have to agree with that. The combination of Tinglu, Orthworm, and then, like you said, Dongiri and Indeedee Hawlucha. Come on, what happened? How did this get allowed? This is insane.
Yeah.
But even just defensively, like take all the offensiveness out of Hawlucha and Indeedee. Just defensively, this is a very annoying team to face.
Well, I was gonna say, I actually feel like the reason this, by the way, is only number 4. It could be higher. I feel like all 3 of those modes are they're beatable. Like, Dongiri just needs a haze. Hawlucha without, like, a Sword Stance, even with, like, the base 110 acrobatics, like, Hawlucha's not one-shotting anything. And then, like, Tinglu Orthworm, I need to be careful because, you know, careful what I say because I have it. But, like, I know that it's very, very beatable. it's three amazing combos, and then the rest of the team is like built incredibly around it. I've written the team is just missing one or two key offensive types. My biggest one of those was like offensive grass type isn't here. Offensive steel type I said isn't here. I said, you know, if Orthworm's relying on Iron Head, that thing has like 70 base attack. It's not doing much. That was about it.
Yeah, I don't really got too much to add. It's, you guys said, it has a few good combos. It has immunities to every single type besides Steel, Dark, Fairy, and Flying. He has at least one immunity to.
That's awesome. Wow. Yeah, rank 4, deserving of it. We'll go back into Electric. So Draft A's leader, she was supposed to be here with you today, but has other, you know, prior things. I've written this as an offensive masterpiece. Its Expert's official ranking is number 3. In saying that, by the way, I think she might be relying on offensive Amoonguss and Bronzong a little bit, simply because you don't have a better offensive grass type or a better offensive steel type or psychic. Oh, you do have psychic type. You've got Gardevoir. Defensively, it's not that amazing, but she knows that. She said that to me around number 5. She said, I've just realized that I've gotten Great Tusk, Amoonguss, Dragolgi, and all 3 of those share like tons and tons of weaknesses. And I think the rest of the draft was spent trying to fix it. But this is a snowball team. Like, it's a team that just wants to get going, and once it gets going, I really think it's difficult to stop. She plays her first match, she plays the very first match of all 36 official matches, or however many official matches there are. In like a couple hours, in like a day and a bit, I think. So we'll get to see it in action pretty soon.
That's pretty exciting. This is my second favorite of Draft A's picks, or sorry, Draft A or C? Which one are we doing right now?
This is A.
It's A. Yeah, this is my second favorite of all the picks. Spoiler alert, my favorite one is Patillac, so we'll get there eventually. But yeah, this one just it sings true to my heart. I love Cloyster as an offensive just sweeper. It's so annoying. And then Persian is also a very close to my heart Pokemon. I love Alolan. I know it's not that one specifically, but a lot of great Mons on this team. We'll just see what happens defensively, because as soon as she's on the back pedal, I don't know, it kind of falls apart, so we'll see.
Yeah, if you can get your own tail wind up or anything like that to kind of go against the Talonflame, then kind of even the playing field out with speed control, it kind of hurts it, because like Great Tusk, you put a Scarf on it, it's still going to be hard to outspeed. Doesn't matter if the speed ends up being tied, but you have Great Tusk, basically Wish, Landorus, amazing Pokemon, Amoonguss, best support in the game, Talonflame, I'd say like one of the 3 best fire types that isn't like a R tier.
Yeah. And she also got Rotom Heat as well, which is the thing. Like, that's the best fire type that isn't an R tier.
Mm.
Yeah, this is gonna be a very scary team to fight, but we'll see. We'll see. It's exciting.
All right, back we go. Now, this is actually gonna be really bad because Weeese, you've said this is your favorite, and it's my favorite as well. The expert's official ranking is 10. Someone's gonna need to tell me what's wrong with this team. I love it. Like, nobody else.
You know what?
did.
So here's why people ranked at 10 in my opinion. They're salty. They see the best team on the block and they're like, oh shit, I gotta fight Houndstone and Tyranitar, and then throw on top of those two, because that combo is one of my favorite ever. I love Sand, and Houndstone's insane. But then throw on top of it, just for fun, Bundle, Volcarona, Gastrodon, Stonjourner plus 30% damage to everybody. King Gambit, what is going on here? This is insane.
You get to activate Quark Drive with this team naturally.
For free! I love this team, but please, someone tell me.
This
why.
team is sick. I don't know how this is number 10. This is nuts.
What? So wait, hold on, wait. Okay, just for the people at home, I'm just gonna welcome. I'm breaking the fourth wall. Welcome, right? This is Patillac's team. I put it at number 2. This is you here putting it at number 4. 7, 10, 10, 11, 9, 12. Someone said this is the worst team. I don't get it. I don't
I'm spitting the truth here.
understand.
They just don't want to see it. It's too oppressive.
It is just it's a fantastic team. Like it can just sort of do everything. Like it's going to hurt. Like there's no way you like. It's gonna be so hard to get out of turn 1 against this team with all 4 of your mons still.
I don't understand. Patillac, all 3 of us love this team.
It could just be that they have to bring Rotom Fan at least once, and that
No,
on its own
Rotom Fan's
brings it
good.
down to number 10.
Rotom Fan is good. I don't understand. Rotom Fan has the
Come
same.
on.
It has the same base stat total as all the other Rotoms. Like the Rotoms are all created equal. And sure, like Air Slash isn't as good as. Is it Air Slash or Hurricane?
It's Air Slash, my friend.
So Air Slash is arguably better because Air Slash will Air Slash will hit more often and has the flinch chance than like Hurricane Hydro Pump or like Overheat or something.
I don't know, man. 95% chance to hit is like a 50-50 to me, so.
Also, my other thing is, I know that, by the way, there's like 3 mons on this team that get gravity. Because I was going to say, like, Flapple has the whole, like, it's the hustle thing. But Flapple has other abilities as well. And also that, like, you can set up Stonejourner gravity, put Flapple in, and then now what? Like, what? Like truly, now what? You've got like a free life orb boost, gravity, so the moves never miss. You've got hustle on top of that thing, grab apple, outrage. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a terrifying team. This is nuts.
Yeah, I think none of us get it. Someone will have to tell us down below in those comments, eh?
Alrighty. Welcome to Liliana's team. This one split us. Lily, with one exception, was voted either in the top 4 or the bottom 4, which, due to the law of averages, the experts have put her at number 5. In terms of overall quality of mons, I really like it. Every single mon here can be an offensive threat, like literally every single one of the 12. I think I say average as a compliment. It's truly average. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing great with it defensively. I think this position fits a 5.
Yeah, I've got no qualms with this team. It is solid, and it has a lot of potential. I'm curious to see if the Violite Mudbray will be as tanky as I want it to be. But aside from that, everything else, I mean, it looks solid. I like it. I want to see a lot of work out of Tinkaton because it's one of my favorite of the new gen Pokemon. But just having Mouse Ape on its own is so frustrating.
Yeah, it's such a combo that you have to respect. Like anytime, like if somebody has Mouse Ape, they have to be up there in the rankings, in my opinion, because it's just such a scary combo. Like, and even if you were to put the Mouse Hold next to something like a Skeledirge, help the Skeledirge stay alive longer, that's also terrifying.
Yeah. You were just mentioning Tinkaton, Weeese. Like, everyone kind of says Tinkaton's a bad offensive piece. Mouse Hold Tinkaton, you follow me, Swords Dance. Now you have the best defensive type in the game, you're +2, so your damage output is just slightly lower than Zacian. It's like, at +2, it's only slightly lower than Zacian. You have Friend Guard, like Natural Bulk. Like, I know from talking to people who put it in the bottom 4 that their issue with this team was speed control. Like, did she draft Tailwind?
If it's on Oricorio, but other than that, maybe Roaring Moon actually gets it. That's true.
Roaring Moon gets it.
Yeah, Roaring Moon gets it, and like what her Trick Room setter is Espeon?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I think that was people's issue with it, of like, Lily is going to play everyone else's game when it comes to speed control. Like, whoever her opponent is gets to decide whether Lily is playing Tailwind or Trick Room. She doesn't get to decide that herself. But I don't think she wants to.
Yeah, honestly, I don't see that as an issue. With Pokemon like Vaporeon or Saucebuck, who don't necessarily care about the speed and care more so about momentum or like defensive swaps, I don't know. I see this working in her favor with Tinkaton as well. Oh my gosh, I love Fake Out on that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I've said, yeah, I was one of the people who put this in the top 4, not the bottom 4. So yeah, I'm very happy with this.
Yeah, it's a good team.
Alright. Back to the contents we go. PurpleReign. way to go for a newbie for making a banger. This one seemed to split us too, so it's actually good we're doing Japanese style here. Several people had it top 3, myself included. I actually had it at number 3, but like, I think like 4 people had it at top 3, but everyone else had it at bottom 5, and so it's ended up at number 6 because of it. Just beneath Lily's. It is just a bit too physical for a Chi-Yu team for my liking, but adding that sand mode, like when I say physical, the only like really physical thing here is like the Hippowdon, Lycanroc, Toxicroak, but then Toxicroak's good for fake out, and then the sand mode gives this team layers. It has, in my opinion, the best offensive type coverage. Like, in terms of no matter what your opponent is weak to, this team will find a way to hit you super effective consistently. I think this is the best one.
Yeah, I really like Glamora Chi-Yu. Like, I've played around with Glamora a whole bunch, and if you go Scarf Glamora next to the Chi-Yu, you can get off some huge damage. And then even if you do want to go into the more sand set with it too, and play a slower team as well, you could 100% do that with this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm looking at like even though all the special ones are slow, of like just looking at Appleton as well, of like this team can play super defensively. Like you can have like a Toxic Stikes Glamora with like an Iron Defense Appleton. But Appleton's base special attack's like 110 or something, and then you can put it next to Chi-Yu, and it's like, okay, they cover each other like almost perfectly defensively. Like, it's generally almost perfect how well they cover each other.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that can be interesting with this team, with Chi-Yu reducing special defense, right? So, like, if you wanted, we could see some gnarly things from Florges and Driftblim, turning them into special attackers, or even I don't know. I could see some interesting things going on here. But to be honest with you, I agree with a lot of what you said. It's got some good stuff going on, and wow, like this is a really good team. This is a newbie. I had no idea. This is good. This is fun. But I'm curious to see where Impidimp and Fortress are. See what they do. I want to see what they do.
Oh yeah. Jay Walker, anything else?
Not for this team, nope.
Lovely. Last one then. On to Shyguy. Oh god, it's E-Speed spam. We ranked this at number 9. This team's actually pretty bad defensively, and is lacking a few offensive types as well. My biggest one is Water. Neither Quillfish nor Arcanine are, in my opinion, offensive pieces. I know that you can run offensive Quillfish, but why would you? Like, then there's that. Firewater Grass, Steel. Is there a Steel type here? Is there a Steel type on this team?
No.
Don't believe so.
Yep, right, there we go. I think that last comment is the one which I resonate most with. I feel like at first, that word should be glance, not place. At first glance, it looks really good, and then like whenever you play against it, you're gonna like look into the team, look at the weaknesses, and you just go, oh.
Yeah, I see that, because
you
see Qianpao, Dragonite, Arcanine, you're just like, well, they're just gonna E-Speed spam. And if you figure out a way to kind of stop that, then what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is true. They've got a lot to like help support themselves, right? So you can steal all the stat boost with a Ditto if necessary. You got Serena to help against Fake Out if you want to set up like a Tailwind with Kilowattrel and just overpower. But I don't know why you'd want that if you're E-Speed spamming anyways. So I mean, I don't know. I think it'll be pretty cool, especially with a dual Intimidate plus Violite Primate. That's gonna be very annoying with Drain Punch and Bulk Up, but we'll see what happens.
Does this team get beat up anywhere? I don't believe so, right? No.
What about Quillfish?
No, Quillfish does not seem like a beat up mon. I was just mentioning it because I know that Primate does get Rage Fist, which people don't recognize. It's not an Annihilate move. That's a Primate move.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Primate gets Rage Fist. It's really dumb.
Oh, that's an issue.
And yeah, so you can make it like Eviolite bulk up, get the +1 in those defenses, and like just in defense, the Eviolite makes it even worse. And then every time you hit it, just like Annihilate, it gets stronger.
Like being able to
That's
get
gonna
that
be
at
a fun
such like
one.
a lower tier is such a good pickup because like it's not even like Primeape has bad stats and you can just put an Eevee on it and just take a few hits and it's just gonna crush.
Yeah. Alright, I think that's done there. Was there any comments from anyone anywhere about any team that we kind of glanced over at all?
Not for me.
Not
No,
from
I
you
don't have
either, Weeese?
anything. Nah, nothing that should add.
No.
Except for go Patillac. You got this, baby. Look at
Yeah,
that team.
Patillac, we love you.
Sorry. No one said that. There's no bias here.
We love you. We don't understand. We don't understand. We don't get it. Here's a fun one. Okay, Weeese, because you can probably answer this better than I can, like better than Jay Walker can, because you know how people are going. Let's take players into account now. Who's the top 3?
Ooh, that's really difficult. So after meeting Drops and watching him absolutely just kick ass in the Portland Regional, and that's not with bad Pokemon. That's that's with genuinely good Pokemon. I don't know. Drops is an excellent player, top tier for sure. So I'd put him in my top 3. I would say personally, I'm gonna go ahead and throw in Patillac, Drops, and Splatty. However, I want this to be 100,000% clear. I'm tiering these 3 as the top 3 off a very tiny percentage. This is a very stacked group, so I may just be biased here and like their teams. But I do believe if you're looking for those 3, plan maybe just a little bit extra. Their teams are pretty solid, so
Yeah. I would go almost identical. I would go Splatty, ZXC, I think are both going to be top 2. I think the 3rd place then goes up for grabs between Dentist, Carney, Patillac, and I'll throw Electric and Drops in there both. Yeah, but I think you're sleeping on ZXC, because ZXC, as a player, overall, like server-wide, you got like 3rd last season?
oh wow.
Yeah, he was number 3 last season, server-wide, and then now he has this team. So I think ZXC is very up there.
I'll keep my eyes open.
All right. I think that's all. Thank you very much both for coming out.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right. Hey guys, if you're still watching, the Draft B segment is over an hour and a half long, so you guys have fun watching that. Goodbye now.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Seph, and I'm here with Confused and Drops.
Yo, what's up?
Howdy, howdy.
And we are going to be ranking the drafts for Draft B of, I guess this is Season 2 of the FDL. And, yeah, so the Confused is actually your draft, right? And you're the Draft B of this group.
Let's go! I get to make people upset in my own draft by having bad takes.
You're going to put a massive target on your back right here, but...
I am, and it's all that I could want, really. Hopefully, nobody actually gets offended, even if I call their draft bad. But, you know.
Yeah,
I don't mean it personally.
Everybody's got opinions, and we're just going to throw ours out there and pretend like we know what we're talking about. But, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll go in order here. So the first one up is Cooper. And Confused, I know you have a lot to say about this one, so you want to start?
I do. Alright. First off, this man is evil. Evil incarnate. I don't care about the state of his draft. I just care that he took Pawmot and then took Starly to protect it so I couldn't revenge take it. Just to spite me. Just to get at me and no other reason. Now, I respect it. I genuinely do. Because, like, if you're gonna... Like, you gotta go at least that far. But here's the thing about Cooper's draft, in my mind. He has quite possibly the strongest draft open I have seen, especially in Draft B. He has Fluttermane, Dondozo, Tatsugiri, Pawmot. Starly's kind of a throwaway, but, you know, it is what it is. Those 4 Mons, though, are so incredibly strong when paired together, it's insane. And then Cooper decided with the rest of his picks to do nothing. I don't think I care about a single other Mon on this team when paired with Dondozo Tatsugiri. In my mind, when you play Tatsudon, you are picking pairs that play well as a duo, and then hopefully that duo pairs well with Tatsu or it pairs well with Dondozo. And I don't see any pairs on here. The closest I can get is Toadscroll with some of the other Mons. I get the skill swap to get rid of Mycelium Might with Spore. I think that's more cheeky than good. I can kind of see the Trick Room, and I can kind of see the redirection setup with Phalanx. That being said, I don't like any of it on the bottom half. And that's hard to say when I think he had the strongest open out of everybody. And that's my rank.
All right. So what would you like? What tier would you put this draft in for you?
For me personally, this is a C tier draft.
Okay.
I know you liked it more, so I'm curious to what you're gonna say.
I like it a little more. Like, I have it in B tier, so one tier up. And you know, my exact little comment for this draft is top end is insane, but the bottom 2/3 is meh. Right? Like, it is. You're right. A lot of the stuff I don't care about at all. But I think that the top half is so good. The top, you know, when you just look at like Flutter, Dozo, Tatsugiri, and Palmot, like that 4 can win, you know, like
So
easily go 50% win rate by itself, right? And like outside of that, you've got a couple different ways to protect Fluttermane. Like, I know everybody says, oh, you can just priority kill Flutter right before it can do anything to you. You know, Bruxus Hashir, it blocks the priority. I think that there are some things here that like will matter at some point, right? But you know, I don't think it's an amazing draft. The top half is, you know, like you said, one of the best starts to a draft you could have. But yeah, I mean, it definitely fell off, and you know, I would have it slightly ahead of you, but I would probably say that it's B tier.
So, a fun fact before we get our opinion from Drops is Cooper has gone on record saying he is benching the Palmot and it is just to spite me and it will not see play. If that is true, this is doom. Because that Palmot is one of his best 4 Pokemon. And he needs to get that.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that he is memeing because that's what, you know, this whole thing's been about. But he did bring Starly to like the grand finals, right? So you know, who knows with Cooper?
I genuinely don't know with Cooper. I believe him when he says he's gonna have it benched the entire time, and I also believe that he's not gonna win if he benches it the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you know, Palmot. This is the exact kind of team that you want Palmot to be on, right? Like,
oh yeah,
at least with the 6 mons that he's going to be bringing most often, right? Like, you know, this is 100% a Palmot team. Being able to bring back either Flutter or Dozo or Tatsu, like that, all of that is like huge game, right? So,
I agree.
You know, Drops, you got anything to say about this one?
I kind of saw the same thing where he has that very solid core 4, but without those 4, it's a pretty weak team, and those 4 are going to be heavily prepped for, and I think it's going to cause him some issues. I think it kind of lacks some reliable speed control, which isn't great. Like, I mean, Flutter gets Icy Wind, and Tatsu gets Icy Wind, which is fast-ish, but like it doesn't have a whole lot of support for the core 4, I guess I'd say. I mean, obviously, like we also said, the speed boost Spore is going to be a thing, but you can just, you know, slap some safety goggles on them on and ignore the Toadscroll.
Yeah. I will say that this isn't like the worst speed control of anybody's team. There is 2 mods that have
It is
Tailing Gather.
there.
One of them is Starly. There's 4 mods with Trick Room. There's multiple Icy Winds. Like, there are options, and like, they're not. I'm not saying they're great, but there definitely are some.
I think
That being said, like, if you get Tailwind set up, like, what do you want to be in Tailwind? Right, like Clodsire? No.
Well,
Modern
even his Trick Room mode isn't very strong. He is. I mean, Dondozo in Trick Room probably goes nuts because Dondozo's an insane Pokemon on its own. But then you're not running Tatsu. And then Clodsire. I mean, I drafted Clodsire, so I can't completely hate on it, but it doesn't do a load of damage like you'd want from a Trick Room sweeper, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Clodsire's
I
attacking
actually like
stats are,
every mon on this team individually.
Yeah, they just don't
75,
work
45.
together.
Yeah, they just don't go together at all.
Yeah.
I have him in C tier.
All right.
2
Well,
season.
yeah, we can go C on that one. I'll concede. So let me.
I think the best growth of this entire storyline is Cooper using Palmot and realizing it is a good Pokemon. And that is where we are going to be.
He also lacks a Steel type for the Fairy Steel Dragon Core.
Yeah.
That's true, but Dondozo teams don't really play by the same rules as every other type of team.
That's
my
fair.
head.
All right, so we've got Cooper in the C tier. All right, let's move on to pick number 2, and that is. Let me find my list here.
It should be Pikallo.
Thing.
Pikallo, however you say that.
Yeah. I'm just trying to pull up the team real quick to paste it in here. Where's my spreadsheet? Here we go. All right, what are we thinking about this one?
All right. So I like it. It's Sandy Shock Sun, it's Trick Room. I don't think it's the strongest in Draft B. I think it's very solidly solid. I think it's like the upper end of the middle pack, personally. I'm a big fan of some of the things on it. He's got the Fairy Dragon Steel, although the Dragon's Altaria. He's got the Fire Water Grass, although again, it's Alamola and Slowking for the water, so that one's actually a lot better.
Yeah, I think his Fire Water Grass is kind of insane.
He's got a lot of modes though, which is great. He's got the fast mode with Sun. He's got Sandy Shocks out there. Lycanroc does a lot of damage. Weavile can Icy Wind. He's threatening Trick Room heavily consistently. He does have Tailwind.
It's kind of a slow Tailwind though.
It is a slow Tailwind, but that's not always terrible, especially when you're threatening Trick Room as hard as this man is. Because let's be real, Slowking, Amoonguss, and Torkoal as a Trick Room option is going to beat almost everyone else in Draft in Trick Room.
Yeah, it's very good.
And
I mean, to be fair, even with the slow Tailwind, he has Weavile with Icy Wind. He's got Thunderwave, Sandy. Like, I think he's got good speed control. It's just not him going fast. It's slowing everyone else down if he wants to play fast.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Sandy Shocks is fast. Weavile is very good. He has a lot of tools to stop the enemy's game plan, like Spore and Fake Out. And I'm a big fan of the team. I think it is missing an immediate threat to really be like a standout draft, like something like almost just like a Lilligant type of mon or a special attacker that, or a Pokemon to attack with the Sandy Shocks. Like the Weavile Sandy Shocks is the fast mode.
I mean, he just plays Torkoal, Amoonguss, clicks Rage Powder, and Eruption.
Right, but then you're hoping that the enemy doesn't have a safety goggles to stop that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, like Rock Slide also just like puts a dent in that plan as well.
Right.
No, I mean, I think I like completely agree here. We were talking about the slow Tailwind, and the thing that I would like to see on this team is if there was a little bit of a faster Tailwind. Like Heracross is like the perfect mon to get under Tailwind. Like it's got that speed tier that's going to just outspeed everything once it gets like +2, and like. But when it's with Altaria, it's just it's a little bit rougher because you've got to wait a turn to get the Tailwind set up and all that stuff. So
I absolutely loved Heracross with loaded dice the last time I played it. I had like multiple different Heracross sets and they all put in work. So I'm a big fan of them on.
yeah,
You know what my
Also, Magnezone, Sandy Shocks, Disquake. With like Terra Flying.
what were you gonna say, Seth?
No, I was just gonna say I agree with like the trick room mode here is very good. I had Amoonguss last season with a like very heavy trick room mode, and like Amoonguss is just so insane. Like I think it's like as good as it is, I think it's underrated in draft leagues because everybody's like, oh yeah, you can just safety goggles and ignore it, and then nobody ever brings safety goggles because they'd much rather run another item because it's just normally better to do so.
Or even if you have safety goggles, you can't put it on everything. If you can find the one mon that has safety goggles.
Yeah, I ran into safety goggles I think once last season where it actually mattered. And
I think I brought safety goggles every time there was a powder on the enemy team.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
if you want to stop this man from getting Trick Room up, though, you cannot.
Yeah. Mimikyu Slowking is so many options to get it up. Like it is unstoppable. If you actually just lead Mimikyu Slowking, you can't stop both without flinches.
And even then, Mimikyu's probably like you can't fake it out.
Right, you have to double
a covert
it to
cloak.
stop it. Yeah.
You have a covert cloak on Slowking, like with redirection. Yeah. I don't know how you stop that.
Yeah, I mean he's got guaranteed Trick Room whenever he wants it. And there's some really cool tech in here of like the chili reception Slowking out into Torque Hole, to like reset Sun or like get it in after you've got Trick Room up or whatever. Like it's just kind of a pretty cool tech.
You know what my biggest complaint, that it's not really like a serious complaint about this team? He lacks something that'll abuse Sandy Shock's gravity.
You want like a Hypnosis Gengar or a Spothra?
Something like that. Or like, I mean, he can run like Zap Cannon Magnezone, but I kind of feel like a big part of Sandy Shock's kit is fast gravity to abuse the other team.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
That is like its big niche's Paradox Mon, right?
But it's not like a real complaint about the team. It's just, if I was planning on drafting Sandy Shocks, it's definitely something I would have thought about.
Also,
yeah, it'd be a
it's
cool
worth mentioning.
option to have, but
I think Altaria was wanted by like 6 different people in our draft, and he's the one who sniped it first.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's kind of weird, like with a Cloud9 mon on your Torque Hole team, but it's a D tier like Tailwind setter like we've been talking about. So
I mean, Natural Killer is a good ability.
Yeah, it's like way better in singles, right? But it's got its use in doubles as well. So what are we thinking for the tier on this one?
I have it as a solid A tier.
Yeah,
I have it as in the A tier.
Yeah, I have it as my highest A tier. So it sounds like an
all right.
A-tier
Well, that's pretty
draft.
unanimous then.
Yep. All right, so we've got first A tier. I think I spelled that right.
Looks right.
All right. So let's move on to pick number 3, and that is NHA. What do you guys think about this one?
I'll let someone else go first this time. Drops.
My immediate, and I always look for, the 2 cores first. His Fire, Water, Grass core, super frail. Doesn't really want to take a hit. I mean, Gastrodon's solid. Quillfish is, pseudo bulky with Intimidate. But like
The other two. My bad.
Yeah, the other 2 are pretty frail. He lacks the Fairy Steel Dragon, just missing a Steel type. I like his speed tiers.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with his speed tiers is he just kind of lacks reliable Trick Room for his team, for the slower mons. But they're also kind of just bulky enough to not need the Trick Room.
Yeah, I mean, the way this team is built is like, it's almost hyper offense, but it's got some slow mons in there, And yeah, I completely agree with you on the, like, Dragonair is not, like, you can't even, like, say that it's in the Fairy Dragon Steel core. Like, it's just meh. And yeah, I mean, like, most of his Pokemon are, like, fairly frail. Like, Gastro and Garganacl are, like, really the only ones that you can say are, like, super bulky. I guess, like, the Dunsparce as well. But yeah, I mean, this is a cool team. I think it's got, like, a ton of utility. Like, almost every Pokemon on this team has got, like, some really cool tech that it can do. Like, Valiant has, like, endless utility. Meowscarada's got multiple different things it can do. Talonflame, obviously, is, like, a utility knife. Same thing with Raichu. It's, like, his Fake Out. It's a fast Fake Out. I don't know. It's an interesting team.
All right. So my things that stick out to me here is I don't really get what Gastrodon is protecting. Like, it's protecting Talonflame, who's probably going to get the job done anyway, and it's protecting Garganacl, who probably doesn't need it.
Yeah.
So I don't get why Gastrodon from that perspective. The Teapot is insane, but I don't see the support to run, like, Shell Smash stuff. So it's either going to probably be Focus Specs or a Focus Sash or Specs or some type of choice item to pair with Talonflame. Because you don't really have, like, the best you have is Fake Out for redirection. And finally, I love the Dunsparce. That Mon is, I had it last season. I actually thought it was too valuable in the tier it was in. Like, I was, like, the only person who voted to raise it a tier, I think. I thought the Mon was crazy. I felt like I could bring it most weeks safely with, like, different sets.
Yeah.
I think you're undervaluing the ability to run a bulky Teapot.
Maybe.
Seph, didn't you, or was it you, or you and Eldentista both had the Teapot last season, right? And you ran a bulky variant of it a couple times?
Yeah, so I ran, like, the Whiter Shell Smash, like, once, and every other time that I brought it, it was, like, a bulky set. Like, Will-O-Wisp, Strength Sap, like, max defense, like, just basically walled every physical threat. And then I also had, like, a bulky, like, surprise Trick Room. Let it beside, like, Salazzle with, like, basically bluffing Fake Out pressure whenever I was actually just gonna, like, overheat out and set Trick Room with Teapot.
I guess he has the same stuff with Raichu then.
Yeah.
I have this in B tier. I think it's kind of carried by Valiant Talonflame.
Yeah.
Personally. I love Meowscarada, but I think that Valiant and Talonflame being able to do what they want consistently is going to be enough to get a bunch of wins. And
Rada also has an insane support move pool.
It does, but I feel like there's a lot of overlap with Valiant based on those move pools.
I mean, you have 2 Mons doing the same thing. It makes it hard to prep for.
Kinda, yeah.
Is it support Meowscarada with a Valiant just hitting buttons, or flip-flop that? Or they both aggro next to a Talonflame, clicking buttons.
So I actually really like Garganacl here. Because there's going to be like a lot of thought put into like stopping Valiant, Talonflame, Poltegeist stuff. But like Garganacl could just come in and like throw out the Salt Cures and just kind of like be the like super wall that it is, and just kind of like finish stuff off.
I will say I do like the idea of Gastrodon, Garganacl, Dudunsparce as like a bulky option, but
yeah,
you have multiple forms of bulk and sustain through those three.
Yep.
Still, I think this is still B tier in my mind.
Yeah, I agree.
I also have it in B tier.
All right, NHA first B tier.
I wonder if we're gonna see Boomburst Palisand stuff with that. I'm a big fan of the Dudunsparce, as I keep mentioning it. It's where my mind goes when seeing them on. It has so many sets.
He doesn't have anything with. Wait. Seph, will you flip back to the slide real quick?
Yeah. All right.
Does Quillfish get Pin Missile?
Let's see.
Are you looking for the rattled weakness policy stuff?
Yeah. I feel like Quillfish gets Pin Missile.
It does get Pin Missile.
Ooh, that could be fun.
It also gets Fell Stinger, I guess, if you didn't want it to have a 5% chance to miss.
Well, the Pin Missile is giving like
you
plus
trigger
4
it every
speed.
time. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So you can run it with loaded dice, get the +4 guaranteed, and then the Dudunsparce is +2/+2/+4 stored power.
Yeah.
Or just super fast. Hitting other buttons.
Never forget the evil glare, Serene Grace Coil stuff. You don't get to move.
Yeah. No, like, I actually, like, Poltegeist and Dudunsparce is, like, kind of insane, like, 2-mon core, too. Like, the Ghost normal, like, typing just, like, goes really well together. And, I don't know, it just seems like the bulky Poltegeist, like I was talking about, like, the Strength Sap and the Will-O-Wisp, like, just being, like, a really annoying mon while, like, Dudunsparce is glaring everything just seems, like, very good.
Alright. Let's move on.
Yep. So we got the next team, and this is Keegachu.
Alright.
Good. Alright, you gonna go?
Yes, and I've got a question for Keegachu because he took his R tier very late. He got that Iron Moth very late. And if it was, I just want to play with Iron Moth, I completely respect it. But at the point that he took it, Murkrow was taken, Rotom Heat was taken, Corviknight was taken, and I believe Haunter was already taken. I might be wrong about that one specifically. But I see Murkrow, Rotom Heat, and Corviknight, and I see an open R tier, and I'm thinking he's taking Iron Tusk every single time. And he did it.
Yeah.
So that was my big takeaway from this draft of why is that not an Iron Tusk? Because I would have been terrified of this draft if it was.
Yeah, so I think Keegachu first picked Murkrow, right?
Right.
And in talking with him, I think that like things kind of fell apart like after the Murkrow pick. Not necessarily saying that he, drafted poorly or whatever, but like the mons he was planning to like target got taken and he was like kind of scrambling. And I think that he ended up on this Iron Moth plan that he finished off the draft with. And I don't even know if like you said Iron Treads, right?
No, Great Tusk was available.
Great Tusk was available. Oh yeah, that's true.
Iron Treads was also available, yes. Both were available at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, Tusk would have been like really good there actually.
I just love how earthquakeable his Mon seem to be, without like throwing away weaknesses to it.
Yeah.
Like they seem like good synergy. Especially, I think Electric has it, but Rotom, Heat, and Great Tusk together with a priority Tailwind. Those 3 Mons paired, it's Discquake with a way to nuke grass types, which is the only thing that stops Discquake, right? Because Rotom Heat.
Yep.
Now, if he just wanted to play Iron Moth, like, I completely respect that. And the thing that stands out to me with Iron Moth is how well it pairs with Corviknight.
Yeah.
I think that's an amazing duo. And then when I look at Iron Moth, my second thought is, like, what niche does it have? And it's multiple spread moves, like Sludge Wave, which Corviknight covers. And then it's also Acid Spray, a fast Acid Spray special attack dropper, which he doesn't really have support for that type of play. And then it's just the third mode is just nuking things on its own, right? Iron Moth is deadly. And he does have stuff for that. He has Murkrow to go with that perfect.
Yep.
So he has a very immediate threat to your life. I also know he took Fracture really early. And then when he picked it, I was surprised because I think it was the first D tier picked in our draft. And that thing's kind of a menace for an NFE.
Yeah, 117 attack is like crazy.
117 attack, and then it's like got really solid bulk with an Eevee. Like it's nothing to laugh at.
Yeah. And 67 speed is not bad with priority Tailwind.
He also has Farigiraf, which is a menace. Imprison Trick Room is godly, and then just setting Trick Room for yourself if needed.
Yeah, and he's got, Keegachu has a decent Trick Room mode with Clawitzer and Hippowdon. It's not the slowest thing ever, right? But it's like you said, it's there if you need it. It's there if it's going to be good.
That being said, I still don't kind of like everything together. Like, I like everything I've said so far, but it feels like something's missing and I can't tell you what.
Yeah.
You look at resistances and they're amazing. Just the Rock Weak, which is pretty real. The only resistance he has isn't, amazing. So Rock Slide is going to always be good into this team, but other than Rock Slide, he's got it all covered.
Yeah. I think, whenever I look at this team, whenever I look, you said that you felt like there was something missing, and when I look at this team, I'm looking at it and I'm like, where's the sand threat, right? Rotom Heat, Corviknight, and Hippowdon setting the sand, all of those are historically very sand team mons, right? Rotom Safety Goggles Rotom Heat is a very classic sand team mon. Corviknight is perfect for sand, and it's Sandvale Cacturn is the mon that takes advantage of Hippowdon, and I don't know, that I feel like that is the point that I can say he needs something to take advantage of the sand.
I'm glad you brought that up, because the first note I put on my little notepad document here is what that hippo doing.
Yeah.
I also would have liked to see one more steel type in his draft. I know steel types are kind of limited, but if you're planning on playing Iron Moth, Corviknight obviously is phenomenal with it, but one more steel type just to really, abuse that fast Sludge Wave with a high special attack would be very solid.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's almost pointless to bring up, but it, with the Terra format, anything being able to be a steel type and catching somebody off guard with a Sludge Wave is kind of some cool mind games.
That's fair, but then you're also having
hitting
to
your Terra type.
Exactly. Yeah. I do like he has 4 different mons that learn Ally Switch.
So I had 4 teams in B tier, and this is one of them. It feels like I should have it higher, but I just don't. I don't know how to justify that. there's something that feels a little off on it to me, and I can't tell you what it is. Like I already said. I think it's a little lacking in offense and setup, which might be it. Like a lot of it's coming from the Iron Moth. But I love a lot of the mons on it. I love Rotom Heat, I love Corvi, I love Iron Moth. Turgrath's insane.
I think Rotom Heat puts in good damage. Corviknight has a lot of flexible sets. You know, there's the Bandit set, there's the Iron Defense Body Press set. I think Florges is a really solid mon. Its abilities aren't great, but it's there. I'm
going to stick with what I had pre this video and have it at B tier. I think I could be convinced to make it A in my mind, but I still have it in B.
I also think he has great speed control options. I know we already brought up the priority Tailwind from Murkrow, but you know, Sneasel gets Icy Wind. Farigiraf is very hard to stop from setting Trick Room if he really wants it. Honor sets Trick Room if he wants it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put one of my notes for Keegachu is Elite Tailwind, Elite Trick Room. Setters, obviously. Like I think the threats in Tailwind and Trick Room could be a little bit better, but if he wants to get Tailwind, if he wants to get Trick Room, he can definitely get there.
I mean, he can even play a slow Tailwind with Corviknight next to Iron Moth. Once again, clicking Sludge Wave.
Yeah. Just to give a ranking on this, I also have Keegachu in B tier. What do you think, Drops?
I have him in A tier. I like the draft. I get where you guys are coming from with a slight lack of threats, but I think it's a very workable draft.
I think we call it high B.
Yeah. We'll say top of B for now, and then if we need to adjust later, we will. How to work stuff.
Oh, God. Everybody loves the quality.
We're not professionals here, nor do we claim to be.
This is not weekly recap. This is just us chatting about drafts, you know?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the next one, and that is Weeese.
All right. Mini rant about this. I made a draft plan for number 7 in the draft, or number 9 in the draft. I was number 9 in the draft, and I'm like, which mon do I want to build around that I can safely get at number 9? And the answer was Golden Go. It was the string cheese, man. I'm like, I can get Golden Go. I can grab Mousehold on the swing back if I need to. I can not need Mousehold. There's plenty of things I can pair with it. I've got a plan for Golden Go. And you know what wasn't available?
Golden Go.
Golden Go. We swooped right in and took it. Now, the other thing I have to mention about this draft, 2 things. 3 things, actually. 1, Blissey is terrifying. I don't care if it's not a real threat. It's menacing. Especially with redirection to help it set up and all the shenanigans that can be pulled off there. The second thing, what's Camerupt and Crocodile doing on the same team? I don't get that, and I need to know what secret tech he has. And the third thing is, what is helping Darkspun do what Darkspun wants? Is it just like a fast charms like setup mon, but it's not any of the Lava Plume stuff we see. And
Camerupt gets Lava Plume.
Yeah, but Camerupt's 20 base speed. 40 base. My bad.
Still
I guess you could scarf it.
Still gets the button.
That's
if
fair.
It's
that's
scarf,
fair.
does it? I mean, I guess you could like timid scarf and like negative speed the Darkspun, but yeah, the Darkspun is like the fastest mon on this team, which is wild.
Now, there are things that I think are really cool about this team. You've got Indeedee follow me with Satitan Belly Drum, bring in Abomasnow after that, click buttons. I like Abomasnow a lot with Satitan, great. Wo-Chien has a bunch of special threats to go with it. And Wo-Chien is a menace in itself. And Wochi and Gudra is giving me flashbacks to Splatty's team that he was posting, and I tried playing with and was Electric played it at Portland, and I think he played it at Hartford.
He played some sort of variant of it at Hartford.
Right. I know he had Wochi and Gudra, though, with screens, but I don't see any screens here, sadly, other than Aurora Veil, which I guess is a screen. It would count. The team's fast mode is non-existent, and is definitely the reason I take points from it.
Yeah,
It's
my
like
big,
just a time.
yeah. My big knocks on this team are like no fake out, no tailwind. Like there's Indeedee to set. What is it?
Doing Sparse gets tailwind.
I
Not
don't think
fast,
there's a
but
sheet.
it's there.
Does it?
Dude, I swear it did. Give me a second.
The Dunsparce gets Tailwind for sure.
Yeah, Dunsparce.
Is that
does
a
not.
evolution thing? Because you're right,
think-
the thing right there doesn't have Tailwind at for the. You are correct.
Yeah, it doesn't get it.
Ah, I'm bad then.
Yeah,
But
that's
we know
a
that.
fun thing, because the Dunsparce definitely gets it. So that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, so I think it's like on evolution it gets it. It learns to fly. But yeah, so like no fake out, no tailwind. Like the trick room mode is like, I mean, in DD setting it is like kind of sketchy, and then you get the like once you get there, like camera up is like pretty good, but then like what are you doing in there, right? Like I don't know, like the speed control in this team is like not good. I think this is actually like one of the worst speed control teams I think that are in this draft. Like your Icy Wind mons are like Cloyster, Cetitan, Blissey. Like Abomasnow wants to like click Icy Wind, but like that's really the only mon that you want to be doing that with. I don't know. I think like that no fake out, no tailwind, and like a kind of a rough trick room mode are like, I don't know. I think those are pretty big marks against this draft.
It's worth noting how fighting weak this team is.
Yeah.
Golden Go and Darkspun are it. Darkspun's actually pretty cool as a switch in for Snow with Flame or Wellbake Body. But I think that the draft is just very, very reliant on Indeedee follow me with a setup, and then trying to make the best use of that setup. And I don't think that's good enough. Once again, I want to know what Crocolore and Camerupt are doing on the same team, because in my mind they're very, very similar mons. I also don't think Camerupt is enough damage to push through Trick Room on his own.
Yeah, I don't think that it is.
I'm gonna prove you wrong. I have camera up.
I think Camerupt is very solid with Solid Rock. But it doesn't need Trick Room to thrive. It can be in Trick Room, but 100 base attack and 110, I believe? No, 100 and 105, I'm looking at it now. It's just not enough to push through mons in the Trick Room timers to make it a hard strategy. So it has to be like soft Trick Room at best.
I will say,
Yep,
I think
I agree.
his Fairy Steel Dragon Core absolutely insane. Like Golden Go Gudra are incredible Pokemon, and then Darkspun has the bulk to just switch into like anything kind of.
I have Weeese in C tier because he took my Golden Goat. Just kidding, not really. But I do have him in C tier because of the speed control reasons, because Darkspun is his fastest mon with no immediate threat, and because it is very, very reliant on Indeedee setup.
Yeah, I agree, and it's those things that you just said. Like the utility on this team is like very lacking.
I mean, it kind of just looks like he wants to play bulk with Aurora Veil, Abomasnow.
Yeah.
I like it. I put it in B tier. He's got combos. He's got the weather plus the abuser for it. I mean, I think both his Fairy Steel Dragon and his Fire Water Grass cores are solid enough.
I would be worried that the screen's bulk offense plan has the screen coming up too slowly.
Yeah,
And you're going to be like down 2 months before Veil goes up.
60 speed is rough. to be your like main screen plan.
I actually
That's
think
fair.
Obama Snow is the best Trick Room sweeper on this team if you can somehow proc weakness policy with Blizzard.
I mean, I don't know the Titan's exact moveset, but what's its speed tier? 73. It's kind of an awkward speed tier to try and Trick Room with. I was gonna say you could run like Sheer Force the Titan in Trick Room.
But like,
You,
I'm sure this team will win games off of just follow me, nasty plot, golden go. I'm sure it'll win games off of just follow me, belly drum, pull in Obama Snow, and click Earthquake or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely got play.
Yeah, it does. But I still have it
yeah.
C tier.
Yep, same here.
I had it in B tier.
All right, we can put it in higher up C, I guess, since I
I mean,
love making Seph copy paste other teams to the back.
Just drop it in C tier. It's fine.
We'll put it here. We can move things around later if we want at the end.
All right.
All right, so next up is Flare Blitz.
See, I said in draft I had 3 plans to draft, and all 3 of them got sniped before it made it to me on 9. Iron Hands was one of them, but I didn't expect to get that one. Bundle was the 3rd, and I didn't expect to get that one. I expected the Golden Go. That's the difference. I thought Iron Hands would go in time, and it did. Big question about this team, though. Haxorus, Fairy, great. Klefki, I don't consider a real steel type.
It's a decent steel type. It gets prankster screens, man.
Well, that's the thing. Why do you have both Grimmsnarl and Klefki?
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, that I agree with.
Is there I want to know the tech for that one, because I feel like that's something you do with like some plan in mind, and I'm not seeing it.
I mean, Grimmsnarl's got 120 base attack. It's definitely still a threat on its own.
I tried to run aggressive Grimmsnarl multiple times. The bulk up set is just not good. I found a lot of success with running like fake out Thunder Wave 2 attacks with some attack investment. I found a lot of success in that. So running attack investment with fake out and 2 attacks, great. Trying to do setup with that move, not good. Just for personal experience.
Yeah. You know, this team reminds me a lot of Shyguy's team from last season, like just like the super hard Trick Room. If it doesn't get Trick Room, like what is it doing kind of team, you know?
It definitely lacks a fast mode to set up that Haxorus.
Yeah. Yeah, Haxorus is like very out of place here. Also,
I do like the...
Go ahead.
I do like the idea of just running Haxorus blind with screen support when you think it can get away with it.
Yeah.
Especially if you think they're like always prepping for your Trick Room mode. You just throw out Grimmsnarl Haxorus or Klefki Haxorus. Once again, I don't know why there's both. I'm sure there's some tech I don't see.
Yeah.
And you just have Haxorus go crazy because that mon is one that can do it in screens, I believe. Especially with a good Terra type.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like in that same kind of game plan, like the Pachirisu Follow Me, D-Dance Haxorus plan also. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's still just like a little out of place. Also, like, I don't know what does Shroomish do? Does it do anything?
Click Spore maybe once? Or not Spore. It doesn't get Rage Powder. Yeah, I mean...
It gets Spore for sure.
Click Spore maybe once, twice if you're lucky. My kind of big issue with this team, it's running 3 NFEs with a pretty support-heavy top end.
Yeah.
So,
that's true. Iron Hands has to do a lot of heavy lifting.
You have Iron Hands. I mean, Armourouge is a very solid Pokemon. It doesn't have the Indeedee female like it'd want, but it still has the Indeedee male.
Yeah, I mean, what is it?
Shroomish is 60-60 with an Eviolite. That's not terrible.
Yeah. The Eviolite on this team, though, like, wants to go to Sliggoo. Like, Sliggoo is an insane Eviolite user.
Yeah, but you probably don't bring them together, right?
Probably not. Like you wouldn't bring Sliggoo and Haxorus together most of the time anyway.
Right.
I don't know.
I like Indeedee Male. I've played with that Pokemon in the past. I think it's very strong, and I think Indeedee Male Armarouge is fairly solid. Like, even ignoring the fact that you don't have Follow Me Trick Room, I still think it's solid. And I still think it's good, especially when you have Iron Hands.
Yeah.
Also, the Iron Hands Oranguru is very strong as a duo, too.
Yeah.
I think Iron Hands is like the glue that's holding this together for what you have. Which makes sense, because it was his first pick.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
and it's his Paradox, too.
Yeah. It feels like it was like, alright, I have Iron Hands. Like, what do I do? Trick Room. And, like, that's kind of, like, where the team went. But,
So how do you two rate it?
I have this one in C tier.
I also have it in C tier.
Alright. I have this one in B tier. I have a little more faith in Iron Hands, Grimmsnarl, and Indeedee Armarouge than I think you two do. It also does have redirection in Pachirisu that's worth mentioning, although there's no like self-way to heal with Discharge or Parabolic Charge that I would like to see with Pachi.
Like I said, he has a solid core. It's just with the 3 NFEs and the support heavy top end, he kind of just lacks the damage to hit things. What we said, Iron Hands is gonna have to do some heavy lifting, basically.
I believe in the hands. It knows how to lift. And by I believe in it, I mean I believe it to get it out of C tier into B. But I'm alone in this, so it's a C tier team. Due to popular vote.
Right, Flare Blitz.
And at this point, we are not putting these by strength within the tiers, unless we want to do that at the very end.
Yeah, we can discuss like where they're at the end, but for now, we'll go with
Totally
this
unrelated here.
Yeah,
Seph, I like your computer screen background.
the,
It pops up when you're switching around windows.
I think it's just like some default like underwater thing, right?
It's the default. We're also, yeah, it's the default, because mine goes to the same thing when my wallpaper engine fails, for whatever reason. We are halfway through, and we have 0 S-tier teams, also. And that doesn't...
S-tier
We've all
is in
looked
the
at
back
this
end.
in advance.
All right, here we go. This is Yayaball. Yeah.
Alright, Seph, your turn.
Yep. So let me pull up where's my little like note doc here. Yeah. So I really like the speed tier that this team or the speed control that this team has. I know like Metacham is not like a great Trick Room setter, right? But there's 2 Tailwind options, and then you get Iron Bundle for like Icy Wind. Those are like very elite, like fast mode options. You've got the Rain team with Palafin. I'm a little like kind of don't feel like Floatzel needs to be here. I know that it's a
Palafin.
Yeah, he's got Palafin. Like you don't need a Swift Swim user. Like you just get like one of the best Pokemon ever. So like Floatzel could have been something else, but it's fine that it's here, right? Like it's still a Swift Swim user with like I don't know what's its
Icy
attack,
Wind.
like, yeah. But yeah, I mean I like the Rain mode. I like Volcarona Palafin. There's 2 Tailwind users to like enable the Wind Rider on Bramblegast. Ursaring is a very cool like C tier mon. The only thing I don't love about this team is like there's not a lot to enable Annihilate, other than like Rage Powder, bulk up stuff.
Bramblegast gets speed up.
Does it? Okay.
It's also pretty frail though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean,
is
it's
fast enough to get it off.
Yeah. I mean, it's 90-90. Like you have to make sure that you speed your things properly. But
Yeah.
90-90 is a little on the slow end, I guess. When you're
Okay.
like talking about like setting up combos.
So, I like Floatzel, weirdly, and I know that it's the third water type on this team, but it's
The fourth water
an
type.
immediate threat for Rain, which not always Palafin in every time. I think the damning thing for this team comp is the electric chart that he has. Because both Bramblegast and Lurantis, the only two electric switch-ins, I feel like are mons that are going to get 2-hit KO'd by electric anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm terrified for this team into any team that is able to click Discharge or just a Thunderbolt Specs or anything like that. And it's going to require some Terras to get around it. Also, I agree with the Annihilate take. Even if it has beat up on Bramblegast, that still feels like it's on the weaker side for an Annihilate take.
I mean, I don't think Annihilate has to have beat up next to it is the thing.
No, when I think of
Yeah, but you
Annihilate, I
need-
think of three
you need
things.
support.
I think of Final Gambit, I think of Setup, and I think of Beat Up. And the Setup requires, like, screens plus
Screens.
Bulk Up, right?
Yep.
And he's missing the screens for the Setup Annihilate, which, like, the Grimmsnarl Annihilate Classic there. He's missing the Trick Room option where he clicks Final Gambit, and it's being used in that way. I guess Final Gambit with Medicham with a Sash is not terrible, but then your Trick Room Sweeper is Lurantis, so it's not the best.
Yeah.
Um,
And there's also like no fairy, no dragon on this team, so like you have Fortress as your only mon in that like fairy, dragon, steel core. That's a little painful. I don't know.
Also, there
I'll-
isn't a single Dark Resist on this team,
Yeah.
and
it goes-
the
well, yeah,
only
just-
Dragon Resist is not, like, super common.
Yeah.
So, I think this team has a lot of exploitable type weaknesses.
I mean, this
Yeah.
this team has a lot of multiples of the same type, which is going to be very difficult to play around. Like Seph said, there's 4 water types, there's 2 fire types, there's 3 grass types.
Oh yeah, I said 3 water, there's 4 water, you're right. Okay, maybe I
Yeah.
don't like Floatzel as much. I thought I
Yeah.
did. That being said, like, Hydro Pump in the rain is the immediate threat. You're right.
Yeah, you got
Then you have
like
to click Hydro
and
Pump.
even if you want immediate threat in the rain, like Palafin clicking Wave Crash in the rain, like even if it's just in its 0 form, is like plenty strong.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I think that this team could definitely do without Floatzel and like shore up some of those type issues. I do really like some parts of this team, like Bundle Palafin Volcarona Pelipper is like I love that part of this team. But there are just some issues with it, like like we've been talking about. So I've actually go ahead.
I don't care for Bundle on this team, to be honest. It's basically like it already has a very limited move pool as it is, and it needs. I feel like it kind of wants Snow with Bundle on this team to let it run its other limited options.
I think the options it has are so strong that that's fine, though, with the addition of Hydro Pump in the rain. I think I do agree with Seph on the top 4 being very, very good.
I mean, that's fair, but you're also only gonna basically have to prep for one type of bundle each week.
I don't think that's necessarily true. Just Encore Icy
Yeah, I
Wind
mean, like-
support stuff and like Specs Hydro Pump stuff are very different.
I
and
agree.
they play very different.
And like
Fair
the
enough.
bundle, bundle like clicking Icy Wind like enables you to do stuff like Specs Volcarona, like things that people are not going to expect, right? Like, I don't know, Banded Brambleghast, like just some of these like faster mons that just, I don't know, they like get a huge boost whenever they have a mon like bundle clicking Icy Wind.
Or even like a Specs Pyroar coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, you could ban this Annihilate, like just things like that. I mean, it's not going to be amazing, right? But it's still options.
I had this as my third C type. My bad, third C tier. C tier. Can't speak.
I have it as my bottom B tier. What do you think, Drops?
I had it C originally. I kind of see confused B tier argument. So I'd probably say high C, low B.
See, you say you agree with my argument, but I had C tier and not B. That's the funny part.
Sorry. Sorry, I mixed people up.
Oh, it's all good.
I had Flare as my, because I did 333 in my SABC, which spoilers for the future parts, and this was my third C.
All right, well, we'll throw them in here, and like I said, if we need to move things around, we can do it. All right, so moving on. We've got JackDaw. What do you guys think about this one?
Okay.
Let me pull it
There
up here,
is
I
a
guess.
theme across all three drafts of Chi-Yu pickers not having super strong special attackers to go with them. At least Chi-Yu is with an Espeon. That is my argument here.
Yeah.
I like this team a lot. I'm going to throw that out there just immediately. T-Tar Garchomp is a classic for a reason. You have Kilowattrel Garchomp as a Disquake option right off the bat. I like a lot of what it's doing. I think Luminion's protecting the mons it has well. I think Chi-Yu is a menace on its own. And I think Water Tauros is great. I think it's got a good Fire Water Grass. Serena Tauros Chi-Yu is insanely good. It is missing a fairy type, which is sorely lacking. It could very much use one. But I think there's just a sheer amount of strength in T-Tar, Garchomp, Tauros, Kilowattrel, Chi-Yu, Serena as a 6-mon core. And then I think the low tiers on this team are filling in weaknesses of that core, and they're not going to be brought to every match. They might only be brought like once or twice a season, if that. But they do have a role to fill with it.
Low-key, Glimmet is an absolute nuke for a D tier. Like, 105 special attack?
Yeah, that's in such an awkward speed tier. It's hard to make that.
I mean,
worth it.
that's kind of Glamora Line's whole problem is its speed tier is awkward. I played T-Tar. Moving on a little bit, T-Tar Garchomp's insanely fun to play. Like you said, you get the Disquake, and your Disquake also comes with a fast Tailwind with Kilowattrel. I do agree. It was a thing across all drafts. I would have liked to see maybe one more special attacker. I'm not a fan of Bisharp. It gives him a steel type, but I also drafted that mon last season and did not really care for it.
Yeah. So a team like this, I think, is like one of the ones that wants to fake out the most, right? Like Kilowattrel setting Tailwind and like getting its wind power, and then having a fake out that you can like switch out into Chi-Yu or whatever, while like Kilowattrel like launches some like super strong Thunderbolt or whatever. I don't know. I like Chi-Yu Kilowattrel like in general, just because like Chi-Yu does power up the Kilowattrel, but like I really wish there was a fake out here on something.
Okay. Yeah, that's understandable. It would have gone a long way. What do you guys think the Oricorio's doing?
I don't know.
Because that's my big question mark mon for this draft.
T-Tar gets Dragon Dance, right? But like Oricorio doesn't want to Dragon Dance.
Right. He doesn't need a flying type with Kilowattrel covering it. He definitely doesn't need my bad. He doesn't need a flying with Kilowattrel or a fire with Chi-Yu. So that's the big question mark mon. Maybe he just likes it, but
yeah. Yeah, there's nothing here that's like going to take advantage of Dancer.
I feel like that's I feel like I keep pointing out like a few Pokemon that I'm like, why did you pick this that I can't see in a lot of these drafts? I think that's a pretty common theme with when I'm looking at teams is like, why is this here? Because I understand the reason why the rest of them are there.
All right, so where do you guys want to rate this one?
I had this one high S, low A. When I tried to do the 3 thing. This would have been the third S, but it's probably closer to A if I was being honest, because I wanted to do 3, right?
Yeah.
So that's my vote on it.
All right, what do you think, Drops?
I'd put it in A tier.
Okay. I was not as high on this one as you guys were, but I can definitely see the merit in putting it in A tier.
So did you have it at B when you
Yeah, I
phrase
had
it like
in
that?
B. Yeah.
Okay.
What?
I think this is a common theme with myself either. I have a lot of faith in Chi-Yu, and it's like I also have a lot of faith in Pokemon like Drifblim, and I tend to rate them naturally higher due to personal bias. But I have a lot of faith in Chi-Yu. I think things like Chi-Yu, Kilowattrel, Espeon is enough to make it shine. Weirdly.
Chi-Yu's also got a decent support set and has okay bulk it can run.
Yeah, but there's no point in running support when overheat Okos.
I mean, Snarl, you got Snarl, you got... What else is Chi? I know it gets a couple other moves. I mean, Snarl,
Yeah, but,
Chi-Yu...
like, Specs Terrafire Overheat just kills Resist in one. It's insane.
Yeah, until they Terra Water with another water type in your face, and then your team's looking kind of sad with the T-Tar Chomp.
Oh, that's when Luminion comes in. All right, we got my team. I like my team a lot. This was not in any of my plans. This wasn't plan 1. That was Iron Hands. This wasn't plan 2. That was Iron Bundle. This wasn't even plan 3, which I thought was the main plan, which was Golden Go. This was plan Panic, and I love how it came out. So basically, I'm gonna click Beat Up on one of my Mons, but my favorite part about it is Beat Up is not necessary to any of them. I have Beat Up Lucario, I have Beat Up Arcanine, I have Beat Up Primeape, but all 3 of those work without using Beat Up. Arcanine could easily be Intimidate, Lucario could easily be Inner Focus Special, Mousehole could be Population Bomb. It's hard to predict what I'm doing with that. I think the Fire, Water, Grass is very, very good. I think Arcanine, Vaporeon, Go-Goat is... I think Go-Goat's like one of the 3 best. The grass types in this game are not very good. It's like Rotom, and Bee, and then some Mons and like Amoonguss, right? I think he's pretty good for a grass type, is my point. I love Hatterene Bronzong. I love the slow mode it provides. Arcanine is incredibly versatile. That thing can run so many different sets, it's insane. Vespiquen was a backup that I'm pretty happy to have because I can now Toxic Stall with it. Same with Swalot with Glamora. So, you might end up getting Toxic Stalled by Glamora, Bronzong, Vaporeon, Go-Goat, Swalot, Vespiquen, and having no idea how that happened to you when you were expecting Roaring Moon to come out of the gate clicking Terra Blast Flying and Okoing everything next to a Mousehold. I think I do have immediate pressure. I think Roaring Moon and Glamora with Mouse next to it, or just Roaring Moon clicking Tailwind, I think there is immediate pressure on this team, especially with any beat-up shenanigans. I've got 2 E-Speeds. I've got Final Gambit for Trick Room, if I want to go that route, in both Lucario and Primeape having Final Gambit. I've got Redirection Trick Room. I don't have Fake Out. That's the worst part about this. I don't believe my flying weakness is real, because it's the low tiers that are weak to flying, and they won't be in every game. And I think the ground weakness isn't terrible, because Glamora and Roaring Moon already want to Terra, and they're like the 2 big ground weak. I think the biggest weakness of this team is actually fighting, which doesn't look weak on paper. But that requires like a Ghost, Mousehold, and some shenanigans with Hatterene to get around. I think fighting is the way to beat me. Hopefully that's very playable around because most fighting are physical moves, and I do have Intimidate. So it's not like the end of the world. Basically, I like my draft, and I am more than happy to hear what other people have to say about it.
You say you're fighting weak, but Swallow's got decent bulk. You have the Bronzong. Hatterene's gonna resist the fighting. Vespiquen just doesn't care about fighting types.
Yeah, I was
Go-Go.
searching for flying types in D tier after Altaria and Rotom Fan both got taken. I was like in desperate hunt for one.
Yeah.
My honest biggest problem is you kind of lack like speed control. Roaring Moon is fast, that gets Tailwind, but it also kind of wants to have the Tailwind. I mean, it's a very U style team. It's got a lot of bulk. It's versatile. It's going to be hard to prep for.
Yeah, I mean, I have this as like one of the top drafts across like all three drafts, right?
Let's go.
The only real complaints I have about this one are there's no fake out, and your only Icy Wind mon is Vaporeon. So like to Drops' point, like your speed control is just Trick Room and setting Tailwind.
I think that is undervaluing Thunder Wave a little bit, but I get it.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
your Thunder Wave mons aren't that fast. You have Mousehold clicking it, but still, your other two are fairly slow clicking Thunder Wave. Granted, they have the bulk to do it, so ultimately it'll work, but it's not like immediate speed control.
No, that's fair.
yeah, I mean, you know, my complaints aren't like, obviously, like I said, you have one of the best drafts in across all three, but easy
Now-
S tier for me.
Annihilate got taken. Do you think Primeape does its job even close?
I have faith. Eevee Primate might be gross. Because what, Primape's C tier, right?
Yeah, Primeape was C tier.
I think for its tier, it'll probably work wonders.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. It's faster too, so you get a faster Rage Fist.
True. I think Arcanine as a beat up target was used a lot in Sword and Shield, and it kind of got like people just took Annihilate over it, right? But I think that the idea of I've got 3 different beat up targets on this draft, and you have no idea if any of them are even coming, but you have to prep for them is very strong.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about that though is in Sword and Shield, you also got to abuse the just massive amount of bulk you got from
Dynamax.
Dynamax.
Right,
yeah.
but Arcanine was the best beat up target in Sword and Shield until the Sword Trio appeared.
Dude, Justified Lucario was kind of gross in draft with Dynamax.
I got both of them.
I know. I'm just saying it might beat the Arcanine for that in a draft perspective. I do have it S tier easily.
Yeah.
All right. Good to hear because I like my draft and I also believe in it.
All right.
So let's go. The judges rate their own team high. Let's go.
All right. We got Cap 1228. And this one is the Chi and Pao team. Let me get the slide up here. All right, another team with no fake out. I'll point that out. Maybe I overvalue fake out, but just wish it was here.
I think fake out is used best when you're able to use it with a setup move of some sort. Like you want fake out paired with like Nasty Plot or Swords Dance or Dragon Dance or Trick Room, right? Like just that's when I feel like fake out is its strongest because it forces the opponent to not just double protect.
Yeah, but fake out is such a good tool to like position.
I don't disagree. I do agree.
It gives, yeah, I mean, it's just, I think that's the underrated part about fake out is that like it allows you the option to position as you need to. It doesn't necessarily always have to be like, oh, I'm setting Trick Room with fake out, I'm setting up. It's a very positional move. And you know, it does cause some mind games where you can do something else besides click fake out while they double protect. But
see, I would have had fake out if he didn't take Palmont on Cooper.
True. Anyway, this is a very cool Chi and Pao team. Dragonite, Cerulege, Scizor, Gyarados all want to take advantage of this sort of ruin ability. This team is exactly what I would want to see from the Chi-Yu teams, honestly. Like, just
he hard committed to his R tier.
Yeah, take advantage of the ability, man. Like, Chi-Pao is a great mon by itself, but like it's even better when it's beside Dragonite, Click and E-Speed, or like, like the Dragonite, Cerulege, Scizor all have like excellent priority, and I don't know. It's going to be tough to deal with all of them.
Did Riolu get Follow Me and Home? I see it down there where you have Follow Me. It has Riolu, and
yeah.
I thought,
so this is like a Natdex sheet.
Games.
Yeah, this is a Natdex sheet. So like Riolu did get Follow Me at some point in the world of Pokemon, but
Okay, yeah, he does not have it.
Yeah, this also has Scizor with Tailwind, and it does not get it either.
No, I think Scizor actually does get Tailwind.
Yeah, Scyther gets Tailwind.
Oh,
yeah, Scyther gets Tailwind, and Scizor definitely gets Tailwind.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, all right. Yeah. So he does have 3 Tailwind users then.
Okay.
But yeah, actually, like,
so,
I like a lot about what this team has going on. The biggest things, like I said earlier, no fairy, no fake out, like kind of like 2 biggies for me.
Okay, I agree with that. I want you to look at the average base stats at the bottom of that chart, and I have never seen a number in draft be over 100. I've just not seen it, except maybe when Loafus was playing some HO stuff for speed.
Yeah.
Like, that 101 is absolutely crazy. And then special attack is at 70, and I think that's actually the biggest problem I have with this draft is I think he committed too hard to Chien-Pao. I know you said that you wanted to see more of this like in Chi-Yu, and I was saying that the couple of special attackers were enough. I think there is a middle ground where I wish that this team actually had 1 or 2 more special attackers. Like maybe in the Gallade slot.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Gallade Braviary could be like other special attackers.
Because what I'm scared of the most, or what I want to abuse when I see this team, is Rotom. Find a special, or find a physical wall that resists Rotom Mow, and you're kind of chilling.
Yeah.
There are ways around it. Set up Sword Stance, Screech from Riolu, Paralysis. He has all of these. He has Taunt from Gyarados, right?
Yeah.
Multiple taunts, actually, not just Gyarados. He has 5 of them. He has ways around it, but that is still the route I would go. Is some pretty physically heavy mons, and then just take out the Chien-Pao, and then you're cruising. He also is going to be very reliant on Clear Amulet and anybody with Intimidate, or he has to run Inner Focus on Dragonite, which I do undervalue Special Dragonite. I think it's better than I give it credit for.
I
mean,
mean,
definitely do some work.
It absolutely blasted Jordan last season.
Rain Dance Riolu plus Hurricane Dragonite is your special.
Correct. That being said, even if you do a bunch of physical bulk, and even if you don't have the good special attack mashers, Chien-Pao, Scizor, Dragonite, Cerulege might just blow through it anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't like even if you do bring everything, you can't just like be like, all right, well I'm physically defensive, like I win, because that's not gonna be the case.
I believe I had this draft at number 4, so the highest possible of A tier.
So here's kind of my problem with this draft is if you have, the Farigiraf, the Psychic Terrain, his speed tiers become real awkward with that priority that priority spam.
But he does have the priority spam. Every single mon in those speed tiers has some form of priority.
True, but like I can also
and it's only 2 people with Psychic Terrain, effectively.
There's Quick Guard too.
True.
What else did I have written down here? Speed control is kind of slow. It's just a lot of awkward speed tiering without the priority spam. The team will do what the team wants to do by clicking the priority. it's I don't know. That's just how I felt about it when I looked at it.
Yeah, I also had it as number 4. Confused.
Okay. What you have as drops?
You guys had it higher than me. I put this team in C tier.
Whoa, that's insane.
Yeah.
Here's the hot take of the video. Like I said, it's just prone to being walled by, you know, some kind of niche stuff. But if you have that niche stuff, this team is going to suffer.
I'm sitting here like going, is my physical wall with 1 iron defense even able to hold on? Like, if you get it?
Yeah, I mean,
probably.
There's a lot of mons on this team. Like, we're talking about like awkward speed tiers, but like, look at all these base 80s that can just like run a Scarf. Like, something with Scarf beside Chien-Pao is just gonna like smash whatever's in front of it.
That's fair.
I actually think like every single one of those base 80s has priority except for Gyarados and Braviary. I think every other one has some form of priority.
Yep. All right, so what are we saying on this one?
Also, if somebody gets Trick Room up on him, that's like priority or bust from his point of view.
Yeah.
2 A's and a C puts it either at the bottom of A or high B.
I would say place it bottom of an A because you guys both had it like it was. I don't know. Am I thinking right? You said it was bottom of A, huh?
Yeah,
we both had it like
we both had it at number
A.
4.
Yeah,
we both had it top of A. We had it at number 4.
All right, moving on. We've got Tetris. Ting-Lu.
We don't need to talk about Tetris. It's an ECC tier, and we all agree.
I do agree. Like, I don't know what he was thinking with this draft. Like,
terrible draft. No, in all honesty, I like this draft. Fits the 2 cores, all green on resistances. Little slow, but it's got the bulk for it.
All green on resistances is actually crazy.
Honestly, I think this is my team at home.
I like the idea of that. You're like, this team does everything I do, but a little worse. No. The Earthquake spam with Rotom Wash and Earthworm, very good use of Ting-Lu.
I mean, it's got
Sylveon, one of the
Ghastly
best fairies
too.
in the game. He has the fairy... no dragon type, correct? No, it's apple.
Apple.
Yeah,
and then he
apple.
has fire, water, grass, but it's also apple.
Yep.
But apple also gets thick fat.
Apple does in fact get fat. I can't really argue that. He has a very, very good Trick Room setter, and I think Ting-Lu and Sylveon are both very, very good Trick Room sweepers. And Sudowoodo in himself is underrated. So his Trick Room mode is very, very good. What I actually miss the most on this team is some form of fast screen, so he could play outside of Trick Room as a different mode. I think that if this team had like a fast screen setter, like a Grimmsnarl, it would be absolutely insane.
Yeah.
My only real complaint is outside of Trick Room. I obviously prioritize speed control a lot because I feel like it's really all I've talked about, but it kind of just lacks good speed control outside of Trick Room. But he also kind of just wants to play in Trick Room with his team.
I mean, Pavilion Ting-Lu is great. I think it's more of a problem of his natural speed tiers, with Tauros being the fastest. You can cheat a lot of bulk and make sure that he gets away with just the Scarf. Since Tauros is the fastest mon. That being said, I like bulky teams, and I do like a lot of the things going on here. Also, he has Fake Out stuff.
Yeah, he does have Fake Out. Bonus points.
I know he prioritized it too.
No, the Toxicroak is something that like I was talking about in like a lot of plans that we were coming up with, and I think Toxicroak is insane.
It's got a lot of interesting stuff for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it goes as far as insane. Also, Girafarig, very good.
Yeah.
I think it's C tier.
It's a C tier, yeah. Just it's another like crazy Eviolite user.
Right.
You're talking about something that's like well into the like 500 BST with Eviolite on it.
I'm kind of hyped to see what he brings out with that River Room.
Dude, Savage Spin Out into Trick Room where it makes itself slower, and then Shift Gear setup with Pavilion are both very viable here.
Yeah.
So I think
also,
it can go literally both ways. And I love that.
Like Earthworm, like Shed Telling out into like Sylveon Calmanding up, or
oh, it'd be absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Then he has Tinglu and just Earthquakes it back up.
Yeah.
He has good. He has a couple good Earthquake immunities. I really do appreciate that. I had this as solid A. I had it at number 5. Solid A. I also think, and this might be a bit weird to say, that there was a bit of a power gap in B, and that the top like 5 or 6 teams were a lot better than the bottom 5 or 6. Which, sorry, but just how I feel. And I think Tetris is like right on the top side of that line.
Yeah, I had this one as like high B.
We clearly do not all share the same opinion.
I like this draft a lot. I have it as my second S tier.
Okay, an S, an A, and a B. We are all over the place on this one.
I said high B, right? So like it's almost A tier.
So yeah, we average out to A.
All right, we can throw it in A. 4 A tiers. I think we have one team left. We've got
yeah.
We just did number 11. Here's the current tiers.
All right, I hope you guys agree with me, or this chart's gonna look really bad.
We can figure it out.
I'm just saying.
All right. Here we go. All right, Confused laid on us. What do you got?
All right. This is the draft that I don't think deserved Great Tusk, but got it and appreciates it greatly. Great Tusk with Gardevoir, Great Tusk with Noivern, with Tropius, and with Stonejourner next to it, with a Rotom Fan. You have Disquake with Rotom Fan, you have Tailwind with Noivern, which is not as good as Murkrow or Talonflame, but is basically there, because there's not a lot of things faster. Like, especially not for the Tiratin. I think he has the best Fairy Dragon Steel of the draft. Draft B.
It is a very good Fairy Dragon Steel.
Yeah. I think he has the best Fairy Dragon Steel. King Gambit is insane. He's got Double Dragon, and he's got Gardevoir as his Fairy. Gardevoir is very good. I think it deserves the A tier it's given, and I think when paired with Telepathy with Great Tusk, it gets even better. And also, Brink loves Gardevoir. He's played it more than once, and he just knows how to make good use of it. Like, he knows how to play with that Pokemon. King Gambit, absolutely insane. You used it last season, Mr. King's Gambit.
Yep. It is it is now S tier this season. It was A tier last year.
Yeah, A tier last season was
absolute steal.
Naivety. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, there's a reason I first picked it in A tier, right? Like it was too much value to pass up.
It was, and it was the big threat when you played me in finals. Stonejourner, Stony J, is, I love Stony J. I think he's very, very cool. I think the team has a lot going for it. A lot of its resistances are shored up by the King Gambit, to be honest. Like, everything that If he didn't have this King Gambit, I think the draft would be a lot worse. But that King Gambit's going to come to every match, and it's everything he's weak to, that King Gambit is going to come in and set up on. Like, he's going to have problems with Rock type, Ice type, Ghost type, all of these. The King Gambit's going to come in and help him.
Yeah, I mean, and like even, you know, whenever you have King Gambit, you're like worried about fighting type, ground type, whatever. King Gambit just like going Terra Dark and just like being the stupidest, bulkiest thing that is in the game. Like it is just such a bulky Pokemon, and being able to just like take away its Steel type and make it just like pure Dark is like crazy game.
He also has so many fighting resists. It almost feels like this team was built around King Gambit, if I have to be honest. The Great Tusk was picked late for him. I know he said that because I was talking to him, and he said he wanted a Donphan in that slot. And both Great Tusk and Iron Treads were available, and he wasn't super worried about which one he got, I believe. He just wanted one of them for the fast Earthquake spam. And obviously Great Tusk was left in long enough that he took it. He has Dragapult Colossal, the Sword and Shield combo. He's got Sableye for screens, with priority screens. He's got Fast Tailwind. He even has a Trick Room mode with Toedscool if he wants to, or Gardevoir to imprison it. I have this team as S tier.
Yeah. Do you know the thing that I like most about this team?
What is it?
Sableye and like quashing things while Great Tusk just clicks like Close Combat and Headlong Rush, like, is even more exciting to me than like Earthquake spam.
Oh yeah, it's destructive.
Like you're just deleting things at that point. You're deleting whichever Pokemon you don't want to be over there anymore. There's also just like so much utility on this team. Like, you know, Sableye obviously has like stupid amounts of utility, but like Gardevoir's in the same boat. Like Dragapult can play like 20 different sets. You know, King Gambit can do like multiple different things. Like normally it's best just to run AV, but you can also like do Swords Dance stuff. You can like Black Glasses, Sucker Punch, Terra Dark, everything. Like, I don't know. There's just like a lot of really cool stuff you can do with this team, I think.
I agree. Also, he has Toxapex Tropius to play slow.
Yeah, Tropius is like, I think we were talking about this confused, but Tropius is a very good like stall it out Pokemon with like Harvest and Citrus Berry, Leech Seed stuff.
Yeah, I almost wish I took it over Goat, but I do like the Goat.
There's also like Terra Normal Boom Burst Noivern with like Dragapult, Gardevoir, and Sableye to enable it. Kind of some cool stuff going on.
Yeah, that's a crazy setup too that I honestly forgot about. Sableye with Boom Burst and Telepathy with Boom Burst is crazy. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Dragapult with... Yeah, no, it's crazy. That's actually so threatening. Terra Normal Boom Burst Specs is a menace.
Yeah, and like Dragapult, like so the problem with Noivern and like Boom Burst, like because I had Noivern last season too, and Sableye. Like a lot of these mods are familiar to me from last season, but the problem with Noivern is that I found myself always needing to like Helping Hand to like get Boom Burst to do anything. Like I ended up never running Boom Burst despite having like 2 or 3 ghosts on my team. Because it just never did exactly what I needed it to do, right? But like, beside Dragapult, you can just like Dragon Darts and chunk 2 things, and then just like Boom Burst deletes them.
Any slower team with specs banned, Boom Burst, Dragon Darts, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
I have this team as S tier. I think this team's as good as mine, if not maybe potentially better.
I have it a little below yours, but I would say it's S tier.
All right.
What do you think, Drops?
I like the team. It's got the Quake spam. It like like y'all said, the Polk Cole is a classic. While having to try and prep for the Great Tusk is pretty threatening. The Firewater Grass Core, it's there. It's nothing to write home about because it consists all of his they're all lower tier mons. Not that they're bad mons, but it's just on the bottom half. Speed control's good. Has the prio screens with Sableye. Dragapult is incredibly versatile. Like, I mean, I think we brought it up in the preseason show last season, but during the Scarlet Violet draft, me and Confused spent like 4 hours trying to figure out how to beat Amoonguss Dragapult, and
Never
still don't know how to beat it with what Confused had, because it was Lele Espeon? Like,
yeah, it was the Lele Espeon draft, which you think would beat Amoonguss with a Psychic type and a Fairy type, but no. That was Dynamax, though.
Dragapult's just an insane mon, and he has a lot of things to do with it, and to...
Do you guys think you need both Firewater Grass and Fairy Dragon Steel? Because I think having one of them doing it super well is good enough half the time. Obviously, having both is good.
Yeah, I don't think that you need both. It's something that like I aim for, but you don't need both.
Yeah, obviously I did it, but I don't think you need both of them to like super succeed.
No, I agree with that. And like I said, it's like it's still there, and his Firewater Grass has decent bulk, but that's also not like anything incredibly special to look at.
Right. I just
as a combo of three. Oh, Stony J's insane. When Splatty had it last season, absolute menace of a Pokemon. But Splatty's brain also works in strange ways.
So where'd you put this team drops?
I have it in S tier.
Alright.
Alright. So here's the tier list. Any changes you guys want to make?
No, this looks pretty consistent with what I thought the tier should be. Maybe move Cooper to 12 because he took Palmot. And like, you know, fix the ordering a little bit, because right now they're not ordered within tiers, but we could fix that, put Cooper last, you know?
Oh man.
I'm not making this rivalry any better. I know.
Listen,
Definitely not petty of either of you.
I cannot wait for the confused Cooper rematch.
Before they dodge each other.
I hope we get one.
I want to voice this. I have not actually done anything to Cooper realistically, okay? I did the whole pick Palmot spiel, right? And then he's the one who picked a fight saying Palmot was garbage and Starly is the best. That was not me. I did not come after Starly, right? And then he took Palmot. He's the one starting it all. This isn't me. So he's 12.
Man, listen, I was very disappointed that Cooper did not first pick Palmot, forcing you to first pick Starly. I wanted to see that.
I would have done it.
Yeah, I wanted to see it just to see what you could come up with, like just completely throwing away your first round pick.
I would have done it. I really would have. The best part is that like it works to his advantage on 1 because he gets the 2-pick double up, and I'm on 9, which like 9 typically has to pick good stuff. It can't really go for combos.
Yeah, 9 can't take Starly first pick and then like get a functional draft because
I would have done it. I would have.
You're taking Starly and another Mon, and then you're waiting like 18 picks. So you take like one real Mon in like the first like I don't know, however so 24, 33 picks. You take one real Pokemon. Like that's just I don't know, you're not winning with that.
It would have been fun, but
yeah,
he didn't do it. And then he had the balls to take Palmot Starly on the double up, so I couldn't do anything about it. Like I said, I have not instigated this whatsoever. I am blameless. So
Well,
anyway,
you know,
Cooper
there's-
12th pick.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave him there I'm gonna leave him where he's at. He's the defending champ. He gets he gets a little respect, right?
Yeah, everything's untiered within the tiers anyway, so
Yeah.
we all know he's 12th in our heart.
Yeah, the orders here don't really matter. We've just kind of like threw them as we I guess you could say that they're in pick order. If you picked first, you're first in the tier. So I think that about wraps it up for us. I'm on it's like 12:40 a.m. now. So
Yeah, this
getting a
one's
little
pretty
late.
long.
Anything you guys want to add to the end here?
Looks good to me. Unless
All
you
right.
wanted
Everyone
to-
have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks
that's
everybody
good
for
to me.
watching, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the season.
Hey, hello, welcome back after that absolute mess which you just endured, between an hour and a half of Draft B. I hope it was worth it. I also thank you for everyone if you've been watching the whole thing. We'll try and keep this segment about the same length as Draft A's one. Welcome back to the FDL Season 2 ranking show. If you've taken a break, went and got some popcorn, watched a movie, did something like that, I wouldn't blame you. This is the Draft C part with myself, eldentista, and mikeblacknwhite. Mike, you want to say hello?
Hello. Glad to be here.
Eldentista is currently in the middle of a match, which is going longer than he expected, but you'll hear him jump in at some point, and yes, I have fixed the audio issues, so you'll actually be able to hear him this time. This is what the table of contents look like. If you watch the Draft A section, you know exactly what's coming. I click links, it goes to their page, we talk about it, we go back. In Draft A, Mike, we did Japanese styles, we went down. This time, I'm actually not opposed. Do you just want to pick a random person over and over again?
Oh yeah, let's do random each time.
Okay, who do you want to start with?
Let's go Gengar.
Alright, we're starting with Gengar. Boom. Alright, Gengar has drafted this. I said in Draft A, for those who didn't watch it, I'm not gonna, when we get to it, I'm not gonna be like, gengarwrld drafted Iron Hands, Goldango, Vivian. Like, you can read, use your eyes, it's there. The thing that we do have, though, is this fun little thing. It's the experts' official ranking. So, to 10 people submitted, rankings, and then we averaged them out. This is the position that they ended up in. You might be thinking, why is gengarwrld's ranking so low? This team looks really bad, looks really good, right? It's Iron Hands, Goldango, Vivian, Crook, it's Indeedee, Armarouge. It's a good team. Why is it at 11? This team is actually really bad defensively. It's really good in terms of offense, but he's just got so many types that just absolutely, steamroll him. I additionally said that Gothorita hurts this draft more than it helps it, and I don't understand what Bramblin or Squawkabilly are doing.
I feel like Squawkabilly is very discounted Incineroar because it gets Parting Shot, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah.
So it has Intimidate, it has Parting Shot, so it kind of has that good defensive capability for a D tier, I guess.
But he already has Crocodile is my thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. This was definitely something I wanted for my team. I thought it was going to be fit better than one of my D tiers. But yeah, overall, I feel like this is the problem I had last season, where a lot of my speed tiers were mid to somewhat on the slow side without a strong Trick Roomer.
Yeah, that's the... Well, Indeedee Male is a very good Trick Room setter, you've got to admit.
Oh, definitely. It just sucks that it didn't get Follow Me when it gave Trick Room to Indeedee Female.
Well, the whole thing is that was accidental. That was not supposed to happen. Game Freak openly admitted, oh no, we were giving you Indeedee Terror Raids, and the Indeedee Male was meant to have Trick Room, and the Indeedee Female was supposed to have Expanding Force or something like that. And then it just completely broke, and it gave Indeedee Female Trick Room, and we didn't bother to fix it. I'm like, oh, well then, okay.
Yeah, I just wish they would have like doubled down and be like, all right, we'll give the male follow me as well, just to even out the playing field. But
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not the case.
but that's why it's B tier now.
Oh yeah. I think yeah, that's. I personally agree with the number 11. Do you?
I think it should be at least a little bit higher, maybe 10, 9.
Yeah, but around
I think,
there, I mean, you know.
I think there's some like tricky stuff they can do with Cyclozar with the Shed Tail ability or moveset and Goldango. Because like if you get Goldango behind a sub, and you're possibly Scarf, you can just do some mad damage right off the bat.
Oh yeah. All right, I like it. We'll go back now. Just for the people at home, I've got no clue when eldentista is showing up. I hope it is at some point soon, but we'll never know. I'm gonna pick the next one. I'm gonna go to Katie. Why is the stream not updated? There we go, lovely. I think that Katie's team could be number 1, but it's actually come in at number 7. It's not very defensively sound, and he has a lot of repeat types. Like, for example, I truly don't know what the Flareon is doing with Scaly Dirge. I don't know what the Blissey is doing with Mousehold. And, like, I get that Riolu's probably, like... We saw what Riolu was doing, right? It gets Howl, it gets Sunny Day, it gets Copycat. That's what he did with it in his match versus eldentista.
Yeah, exactly. I do think 7's a little bit low. I would put this at like still like 4 to 3-ish, because he could put off a lot of offensive pressure right off the bat.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's where this team's going to succeed. I think again, no one really knows what to pick for a D tier Pokemon.
I mean,
So
yeah.
You just grab whatever you hear is good. Like Blissey is a wall. Flareon does things.
Yeah.
So I've heard.
Yeah. My other issue with this team is the Tailwind setter is what?
Scyther?
Scyther. Roaring Moon also gets it. We did discuss this in Draft A, though. So Roaring Moon does get Tailwind. But, like, we said Scyther and Roaring Moon. We said Roaring Moon over there, but Scyther especially as well doesn't want to waste a move slot on Tailwind. It's also, does he have Trick Room?
No.
No.
That's something they were saying in the General C chat, I believe, is that they're going to rely... It's almost like deterring their Trick Room by having things that are pretty good in Trick Room, like Mudsail and Copperajah.
Yeah, but then you've wasted an A tier and a B tier on, deterrence.
Does Riolu get Thunder Wave still?
No.
Oh, good. Thank goodness. Because
Riolu's only good prankster move now is Howl and Sunny Day in this, in the context of a Prosynthesis.
Yeah.
Coaching is gone. Thunder Wave is gone. Copycat's still there. He still gets Screech as well, but I think that's about it.
So, like, he could use Copycat to reverse Trick Room.
Yeah, but why would he want to?
Well, in case, like, he leads fast, they try to set Trick Room, so he can just reverse it.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a really, like, really niche scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, the things I say on the side there of, like, overall the quality of each individual mon's pretty good. I'm sure KD will make it work.
Oh, definitely. And, like, you got, like, good cores, like the Mousehold. And, I know you'll probably disagree, but Skeledirge, like, does have some good bulk to it.
No. Skeledirge is a good mon. The problem is that I just don't like that sort of... I don't like... If it's gonna be defensive, don't give it, like, base 60 special defense was my issue with Skeledirge.
No, that's fair. That's definitely fair.
Alrighty. I think that's enough. Your next pick up, Mike Black and White. Where are you going?
All right, let's go. Let's go pasta man. That's Stax.
Stax, why is it? Stop. Thank you. I lost my mouse for a second. Was all. StaxRigatoni. This is great that they're like back to back because it's something we just talked about. This is another story of those bottom three aren't great. The expert's opinion is that this is rank number 6. I'd say the top 6 here are truly incredible. And like the bottom 3 on paper, like a fighting type, a steel fairy, and another ground type, technically mean that like this team's super defensively good. My problem is that like, for example, Hippopotas as a ground type gives you a resistance to... For example, what does it give you resistance to? Ground? What does it resist? Like...
Rock?
Yeah, sure, let's go with rock.
Question mark?
Yeah, okay, let's just theoretically speaking, if it resists rock, if you want to have your rock resistance, you have to bring Hippopotas, which I don't think is great. He has offensive damage from almost like every single type. I actually rank Stax a little bit higher than 6 because of this. I said the mandatory drafting rule is going to hurt him though. It is truly that those top 6 are absolutely not even top 6, because 6 plus 3 is 9, so it's like the top 9 I think almost are like incredible.
No, agreed. I like the team composite he has, like you said, like defensively and just I don't know. I think what he's going to bring creatively is going to be fun to watch to see what Pasta brings out.
Oh yeah. Another thing is, I'm not sure of like Bundle is something which makes mid-speed Pokemon very, very good. And then with the exception of Garchomp, I don't see anything here which like really benefits from just like a -1 speed drop. Like Rotom Heat really wants to be in Tailwind or have your opponent like paralyzed or something like that. But like Iron Bundle obviously just lowers you one at a time.
Because nothing brings in the snow on his team. Because I learned this thing gets Aurora Veil, because that's just sickening.
Yeah. No, nothing. No. Oh wait, hold on. Slow King gets Chilly Reception.
So
The Slow King can like be in, use a move, set Hail or set Snow, bring in Bundle safely because Slow King will move last. Bundle can be like Specs Blizzards. That's actually terrifying to think about as well, of like a King Gambit Slow King lead, right? You would expect, okay, cool, this is obvious. Or not even that, like a Serena Slow King lead. You're like, okay, this is really obvious Trick Room setup. I can't use Fake Out. The Slow King will probably be Mental Herb. You know, like, okay, let's try Stop Trick Room. And then he goes for like, just maybe a Protect on Serena, or like some move on Serena and Chilly Reception. And then he gets Bundle in. He has Serena next to it, so there's no priority you can hit Bundle with. And then has the fastest mon in Hail.
that's just insane.
Yeah. I think that's enough there.
Yeah.
StaxRigatoni. You know what? I'm ripping the band-aid off. We're going to Seph. Okay, my comment here is good luck to everyone playing in Draft C. This is the best team out of all 36, and for very obvious reasons, we ranked this number 1. This is amazing defensive synergy. It's brilliant offensive coverage. Like, there's stupidly high, like, average base stat totals, which is always just a good thing to see in Draft, of, like, okay, like, he doesn't really have, like, any like, mons with, like, super crippling weaknesses. The quality of mons here, I don't think any of those 12 are a bad Pokemon. Not one. I've said no pressure to Seph. of I don't know if he should ever lose a game with this team.
No, well, like I think I can beat him. Just kidding. We'll see where I know where I rank on this list. No, this is like the scariest team. This is the team I've already started putting my plan into place because I know I have to put that much prep into it. He has redirection. He has just that great bulk that can just start whittling things down. He has fissure. Like, what? Does they have?
My thing is,
what does he not have?
Nothing. On Ting Lu teams especially, it's an issue that I almost really ran into. Of you can't have a Ting Lu and then have a ton of special attackers, but you also can't have Ting Lu and then all physical attackers. Like you're even with Defiant, you will just be like intimidate fodder. Like you look at this and it's like, yeah, cool. So you've got amazing offensive types to pair with Ting Lu. You've got Gyarados, Azumarill, Stantler, Toxicroak. You've got Go-Goat, Baxcalibur. That's insane. But then he's rounded it out. He's made it even. Like, Volcarona is here. The Rotom is here. Palisand as well. It's... Like I said, there's 36 drafts, and this is the best one of all of them. So, like...
I also just love the pick of Nalkstack. Just...
Oh, yeah.
I just love that Pokemon and just in general. The design, 10 out of 10. Just...
It's also like Knucklestack Ting Lu. Knucklestack's like, it's like what, base 130 defense, base 80 HP, and like base 20 special defense. That's its downside. But then you put it with Ting Lu, and then all the opponent's special attack is dropped. You give it Eviolite, and suddenly like Knucklestack has no weakness.
Does it also get the Cell Cure attack?
Yes.
Yeah, so then this is just going to be like, if Seph wants to, they could just very easily just always play the long game of just Cure, Toxic, whittle them down until they're completely defeated and broken spiritually.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Okay, yeah, again, I'll just highlight once more. Good luck to everyone who plays this team, and no pressure to Seph. We'll go back to the contents page.
Alright, let's go me now.
Okay, yeah, let's go from 1. Let's go to 12. It's something.
See, because this is the best part, is that I can just beat all expectations now.
Yeah, definitely.
Because either I just like prove everybody right, or I do like get mid and go like 5th overall and just prove everyone wrong.
Oh yeah. I've said in respect to you, the team is defensively weak. It's missing several key offensive types.
Oh, definitely.
My example of that is your water type is a Lamamola.
Just check out the Preseason video, and I think I can prove it works.
Yeah, but like, a broken clock is right twice a day, I've defined this team as Torkoal, Sandy Shocks, and friends, like...
I mean, in my defense, half this team was picked by a 7-year-old.
That is totally fine.
But he hasn't let me down yet.
Oh, yeah, never. My thing is, did you know that you were sniping Kid?
I did not know I was sniping Kid that hard. I think, because I needed Electric's help because I wasn't sure if I was going to be around for the to start the draft.
Yeah.
Being at a kid's birthday, so I said I was taking Torkoal first. And then Electric mentioned how like someone wanted. I was like, well, that's too bad.
Yeah, no, Kid was. When I say certain, I say Kid was certain you were taking Fluttermane, Seph was taking Ting Lu, and that he would get Torkoal.
because I didn't want if I was gonna take Fluttermane, I would want Torkoal anyway. So I just banked hard on, hey, maybe Fluttermane won't get picked for some reason.
No, yeah. I mean, like, look, Ting-Lu made it to me in 11, but I think Fluttermane not going is kind of insane.
Oh, that's why I figured Torkoal was gonna be like the main, and I figured I'm gonna get at least one good Photosynthesis on, so it worked out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. Given it to a team, gonna give a.
A lot of this is just a lot of this is memes built into here. Lot of memes is all I can really say about this.
I can't wait for the Colossal Flamigo. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's just gonna. This is pretty much just like whatever I can give boosted. It's going to Flamigo at some point.
Yeah. All right. All right. We will go back into the contents page. I actually want to go to Kid this time. And I hope that you. Do you like this team?
I don't hate it. Like, there are a few things I would take instead, especially given what was available. I think I remember at the time. But I do like a lot of it. Like, I like Talonflame, Great Tusk. So that's always a fun lead to just like Tailwind and just Earthquake, especially Choice Band right off the bat.
See, we've had this exact scenario in every single part of the video I've been in today, where every time I disagree with a ranking, the people I'm recording with also disagree. I had this in like bottom 4. I like genuinely really don't like this team. Like, I can see that it's got like a lot of good mons. Like, I look at, Great Tusk, Amoonguss, Talonflame, Mence, Bishop, Rabsca, Persian, Ampharos, Sylveon. Like, there's only 3 bad mons there. Like, that's incredible. It's got the hyper offense factor down. It's like Rabsca is a very good Trick Room setter. I did learn that. He's got Rabsca and Amoonguss. Like, it's a good team. My thing is the thing I've written there. You have no good, normal, fire, water, grass, ice, poison, or ghost damage dealers.
Like, I know Mischievous isn't like the strongest, but I think it has some potential to be a good ghost damage dealer. With the right setup, like it has Hex. Like, if something status like from Toxapex, like getting poisoned or burned, it won't do not 0 damage.
I mean, don't try and convince me that Toxapex and Mischievous next to each other is a good combination.
Oh no, I would say more like Amoonguss and Mischievous would be a good combination.
Yeah. Yeah, my thing is more or less of like, Kid is gonna do what this team looks like it's gonna do, and if he needs it to do anything else, he can't. Like, what is it? Like, if someone's weak to like poison or grass, is he gonna run Specs Amoonguss?
I mean, that'd be lit. That'd be the craziest thing ever. I mean, this is draft league. Because I feel like Weeese ran an offensive Amoonguss like season 2.
Oh yeah, I think he did at some point.
So like, it's not impossible, but like, I hear what you're saying of, it's almost like a one-trick pony in a sense.
Yeah. All right, Kid, I'm very sorry. I hope that this team goes great for you.
Also, Kid, since I took Torkoal, if we don't play each other in the regular season, we can play afterwards.
Oh, you do play each other in the regular season?
Oh yes, let's go!
Kid asked about that in general. He's like, I'm begging of you to tell me I play him so that I can ruin this man as revenge. I'm like, okay.
Oh yes, I was gonna also tell you too, to make it happen, I was gonna bribe you anything it took. I was like, just
I
scratch
think-
whoever's name out and put kids in there.
Most of the matches, which everyone has been like, oh, I want to see this, is happening, which is pretty good. All right.
Right.
What do you want?
Let's go Snowman.
All right, Snowman. All right, Snowman. You came in at number 2. This is a very good team.
Oh yeah.
It has the highest average base stat total across DC, so essentially every mon here is like good in some regard. It is tied second for best defensive synergy typing in all of DC. He is missing a few offensive types. My biggest one of that is water? Question mark? I know, because water there's Golduck, but yeah, like kind of. But I
Well,
said
like
that
Wish Cash, like it gets Dragon Dance.
yeah, like it's made better by Chien Pao. I said, I think honestly, this team is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. The only thing which confuses me is the Florges.
I think because I feel like Florges is just kind of really good support, like as a supportive friend, but it's not really gonna do much damage. Although I think Florges messed me up last season.
Florges in this season is also very good because it gets symbiosis, and so if you use a booster energy and Florges has an item, it can give it to its partner. But then Snowman has Chien Pao, which doesn't activate booster energy, and he has Mimikyu, which is arguably just better fairy type in like every way.
I'm just trying to think if he had like a setup move that required Power Herb.
I don't think so. No. Honestly, the Florges take might have just been so that no one else can have it, you know?
Yeah, that's also a possibility.
But like, given I'm saying this team is second ranked, it's best, like it's incredible in everything. There's only one mon in it that I'm confused by. Like look, the team's very, very good.
Yeah, this is a team like I think would be the example of a good draft.
Oh yeah,
that we would use to be like, hey, when you're drafting, look at for these types of things, and then you'd have little arrows.
oh yeah. We will head back to the contents page. I'm very sorry to people watching. I don't know where eldentista is, but
I thought I saw him pop for like a quick second.
maybe. I am actually going to go to my other co-host from this morning. I'm going to go Jaywalker. Who, by the way, is a lovely, lovely human and is about to become a lot of people's favorite person. Did you see the video that he made in replays?
Oh my gosh, I laughed so hard out of that. I've watched it maybe 7 times already.
My favorite one was just the you of like the first pick we take tdKale, and then the reaction is why would he do that?
Yes, I told everyone I was gonna be an upset with the first pick, and I feel like I lived up to that.
Oh yeah. My comment for this one is I would say it's kind of just there. His ranking is 8th, 9th tied. I should also mention, Draft A had no tied. Draft B only had 1. And Draft C has like 2 people who are both like, there's like tied 3rd, 4th, and there's tied 8th, 9th.
I don't, we just kind of evened out, and I think
Yeah.
that definitely the bully draft definitely helps with that.
Oh yeah. Like I've said, it's got okay defensive typing. It's got an okay amount of offense. It's got an okay amount of like synergy. Each one is individually okay. The Wuxian lowering your attack paired with Palafin, Saraledge, Haxorus, and Ursaring, I'm not so sure about. And, like, I think the only good special attacker on this team is Glamora. I'm
It's
also,
also-
like, Woshien can't sit next to, like, half of this team.
Yeah, it feels like a weird restricted pick with the rest of it.
Yeah.
Is Aspratra and Altaria any good, especially?
Espathra is the one who, like, if you get any boosts in front of it, it copies your boosts, and also it gets speed boost. So it is. I think this might be Eldentista's noise we're hearing, which is awesome to hear.
It's me. Sorry.
Oh, it's him. Like, Espathra does get, like, Calm Mind, Speed Boost, Protect. And so, like, you can, in 2 turns, if you Calm Mind and then Protect, end up with, like, a +1. 4 boost is base 100, special base 100 stored power. I mean, that's also a +2 speed as well, so, like, it can snowball very, very quickly. Altaria, I don't know why Altaria was so fought over in all 3 drafts.
I mean, I like Perish Song, so Altaria next to Wo-Chien makes sense for a gimmicky endgame.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
It also gets Tailwind, from what I can look up quickly.
Yeah.
Or is this just...
My- Like, my last comment on this one is that this team will not finish 8th or 9th, despite it being, you know, ranked there. It'll finish much higher than that. It's just more so that, like, there are some teams which are objectively just better than him.
What do you think it'll finish ranked? You're saying, oh, it'll finish much higher than that. Okay.
Top 5.
Yeah.
My guess
I think
is
it'll
fifth.
be good. I like Wo-Chien next to Saraledge. I think that's I'm kind of on the Saraledge
Do you?
bandwagon now. I think it's pretty
Wo-Chien-
good.
Woshien lowers your allies' attack, and
But Saraledge don't care because it's bulking up, and if you ignore it, it's one of those ones where it's tough to ignore both of them, right? Like Wo-Chien next to Palafin, man, but next to Saraledge, like you're playing a long game anyway, so
All right.
it's okay.
I'll go back to the contents page. Dentist, just while you're catching up, all the stuff which is grey we have talked about. Do you want to? How's this? We're gonna get a 1 sentence from Dentist about every team we've talked about. Is that all right?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it.
Mike Black and White.
He stole kids Sandy Shock's spice, and I love it.
Yeah.
Also, there's a Gothitelle, and so I
There's
love
a-
it even more.
Oh yeah.
And a Colossal. Ooh, this is a
And
spicy team.
and an Alamo.
A llama 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 llama. A llama 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 was actually a lot
Who
better
needs
than I thought.
Palafin when you have the fish?
Yeah, exactly. And people are
Hey.
like, "Oh, Aquajet does so much damage to yourself to self-proc Colossal." Not if you're using a llama llama llama. Then it does like no damage to your Colossal.
My other question to you, Eldentista, is: do you like Kids Team?
Yeah, I like kids.
Can you explain that to us? Because both of us ranked it rather low.
So I like it because I think Great Tusk Talonflame is I like it. I think it's solid. Also like Salamence next to that is nice just because it gives you another swap in, it gives you Intimidate. I think Amoonguss is just generally good. Also, Amoonguss, like, it doesn't necessarily want to be taking an Earthquake, but Amoonguss can take an Earthquake while Great Tusk is doing something, Spore something to sleep, swap out.
Oh,
Right. And then I think the Sylveon's kind of fun on the back end also. If he has Sylveon, then he's not playing Sylveon. Right. And then I'm going to go out and kind of my spicy comment for the stream is that people are over focusing on the bottom half of draft. Like, the bottom half of draft doesn't matter because you're picking one of them to come to team preview every week. And if your top 5 are cracked, like, I think I have the worst top 5 or bottom 5 in my pod, but I think I have the best or 6 or whatever it is, the top half, right? So best top half, worst bottom half, but I think I have the best team because my top half is so much better.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's kind of how I feel about Kid's team. Like, I really like his top half.
Just one moment. I'm just going to. I need to go into this, and you just need to go down just a little bit. I turned you all. No, I turned you all. I turned you all the way up from the mistake of the other show, and it's just a bit loud as well.
Okay.
We will go back to the contents page. Okay, this sentence should be pretty. Why is it not letting me? What's going on? Huh? Oh, PowerPoint crashed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. What in the world? Why did this take place? Go back to this. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. This will be cut out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, if this was my stream, I'd be in so much trouble. I've never made an edit.
All right. This could actually be catastrophic because I didn't press save. Oh no. No, please, no. No, I'm begging of you. Okay, thank you. And this, and I need to go to open. Ah! It's fine. It's totally okay.
You can just show me the draft C.
It's okay. We're doing this now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, none of that has been cut out. You've witnessed it take place. Okay, so Mike, who did we do? We did you. We did Kid. We did Seph. We did look at Gengar. We didn't look at Jordan yet, did we? No.
No, we did not.
Didn't look at Kistarl. Didn't look at Eevee. We looked at Snowman. We looked at KD. Did we?
Yes.
We looked at the Pasta Man. We looked at this. We didn't. Okay, lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready for this. The quality of this to just decrease incredibly. Let's just go in order now. Oh god, how? Why? I'm so upset. Genuinely, what happened? Like, it's... Well, okay. Yeah, no, okay. It's not savable. Well then. It's okay, I swear.
Can we talk about Seph's team?
Yeah, talk about Seph's team. Have that for a deal.
Okay. Tinglu, I really wanted Azumarill. I think Azumarill looks nice on his team. Seph is like the king of balance, and this team is like super, super balanced, right? I think when you get Tinglu, at least from what I've seen, it's very tempting to build kind of a stall draft around it, right? And I don't feel like Seph did that, which is really nice. He built a team that everything around Tinglu is going to be doing damage and chunking things as well, right? He doesn't have... I mean, Azumarill, if it gets a belly drum up, is a threat, right? But I don't think I'm ever going to see Seph belly drum with it. Now that I've said that, maybe he does in some match. But he's just going to be chunking things, right? These are all like a bunch of mini King Gambits he's got on his team. So yeah, I like he can switch. He can play long matches. They're not going to be stall long like timer matches, but he's not going to be winning games in 3 turns, but he'll be winning lots of games in 6 to 7.
Oh yeah. We will just continue on. And
also, Baxcalibur I think is going to be really good.
Oh yeah, Bax is amazing. Jordan over here, you can see finished in 5th. These teams here. I'll go into this document here because this is what I based all my comments off of, and we'll see because these numbers make
what
sense
did
to me.
Kid and Seph and Mike all rank? Sorry, I can't really
Okay.
see your thing on the left because I'm on the mobile.
So obviously I ranked number 1 because of Sandy Shock's Torkoal.
Mike ranked number 12. Kid tied for 3rd, 4th. Seph came in at number 1. gengarwrld came in at number 11. We had Snowman came in at 2nd best. KD was 7. Stax was 6. Jaywalker was tied 8th, 9th. And that's all we talked about so far.
See, I mean, Snowman's got Chien-Pao Dragonite, and I don't like the rest of his team.
Really?
But I mean, not that I don't like it, but like, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
The information you're missing, which was
Oh, he's
on
got
the upper
Dragapult,
slide,
not Dragonite. What am
Yeah.
I missing?
there was the he has like the 2nd highest average base stat total across everything. He has the highest amount of offensive type coverage. His team defensively is like tied for like 2nd best in the whole league.
See, I think I still I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna argue. I think those stats are not good there. Like they don't matter.
Okay, yeah.
Again, because like if your bottom mons, who cares,
Mhm.
right? Like a bunch of people pick Go-Go because it's base 535. What it's still a D tier.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why it's a D tier. I don't care, right? Like
Mhm.
so that's my argument. I think
Yeah.
his team's good. He's a great player, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I would have. It's the people who all drafted Chien-Pao and Chi-Yu. Like, if you're gonna draft those guys, go hyper offense and
Yeah, and
build
none
some
of them did.
threats. And none of them did.
All right, we'll move into Jordan's team here. Jordan got 5th overall. While you two are giving your thoughts on Jordan's team just there, I'm gonna get over here and see. What did I say? Oh, okay. I can see the issue with my placing now. I've said that Jordan's team defensively is great, but I've said that it's missing like. Wait, is am I sure that's the right way around? Yeah, defensively great. Offensively, in terms of like having lots of type coverages, I don't think it's there. It's another situation as well of what Jordan's got. and it just
Are you
moved-
talking about Jordan or Kistarl?
I'm talking about Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm talking about Jordan. Yeah. Like, yeah. So there's Iron Valiant, Dragonite, Hat Hariyama. Like, there's a Trick Room mode here as well. But it's like, is there a Steel type on that team? I don't think so. And like I think my issue with it was just that it has like it's missing so many types.
Oh, Earthworm's a steel type, isn't it?
Oh, Orthworm is a steel type, but then yeah, like Orthworm's base attack is like 70, and if you're relying on base 70 attack Iron Heads, then
Orthworm, Binding Band.
yeah.
But yeah, that's a 1 week gimmick. Yeah, no, I get what you mean. It feels like it's Iron Valiant, I think is good. The supporting cast just doesn't quite do it for me.
Yeah.
Like
Mike-
it's good, but it feels like he's gonna do 85-90% damage and then stall out.
Oh yeah.
Is kind of the feeling I get from it, especially like Iron Valiant goes down, and then you have 2 extreme speed mons, but I don't know, to rely on only one of them can hold a choice band, and if you're gonna bring banded every single week for those guys, I think Jordan could really shape this team up in free agency.
Oh yeah.
And like I'd like to see, I don't know, maybe Arcanine or Dragonite. They feel too similar in their role at the top. Maybe drop one of them. Probably Arcanine, honestly. And maybe Dragonite. I don't know. But drop one of them and pick something up and get a little bit more bang. But I think he can win a lot of games in kind of a hard trick room mode with the Hatterene, Hariyama, Spiritomb.
Yeah. Mike, anything?
Not too much on Jordan's team. Just like eldentista said, like I do like his top 6 and like I do like his bottom 6 a little bit. I think he has a strong trick room mode with like the Hariyama Hatterene and then Dragonite like just doing E-speed stuff. But yeah, Iron Valiant as his R tier just makes me wonder.
Hey, Iron Valiant's
Yeah, because
good.
he could have picked Qian Pao.
Yeah.
Like if this team has Qian Pao, it's cracked.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
filth. But at the same time, if Chen Pao goes there, probably Dragonite's not around.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, let me preface.
But then you said,
everything
like-
with saying, I was gonna say I'm grumpy dentist tonight. I apologize. And so I'm
sorry.
probably just like pissing on everybody's teams, and I'm like, bah humbug. I'll
It's
try
like-
and be happy, dentist.
We'll move on to Kistarl's team. Kistarl is ranked number 3. He's tied 3-4. So Kistarl and Kid's team, we have said is... Where's Kid in this? Where's Kid? Oh, there. So Kistarl and Kid, we have said is like basically they're like super equal, which I'll actually get behind. I did.
See, I'm
s-
gonna
I ran-
I'll hot take this. I think
I
this
re-
should have been number 1.
You think?
Well, like, cause if we think it was like piloted by like 6 like wolves, right? Like Tadonzo, Giri, like Chayu, like strong special attackers, like that are fast behind it. I just thought this thing could be hyper offense right away and just
Mm-hmm.
kind of put the pedal to the metal and just take kills really fast, and then like Dozo Giri at the end and just show no mercy. Like if you like just tailwind with Kilowattrel, it's still alive, and you can like tear a ground Chayu and just like discharge and fire off heat waves.
Yeah. Yeah, I had Kistarl very high as well. And yeah, I agree with you. I remember writing in the comments, the only one like I remember writing is I would have liked to see like maybe just a tad more like reliance on special attackers. Like Muck is physical, Dongiri is physical while it's set up. The sand mode is physical. You're probably running physical Cacturne most weeks because its physical moveset's better.
Agree. So I think like in free agency, like this could get also like cleaned up to be like really dangerous, really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think this is a team that, yeah, it needs free agency. I'm going to be grumpy dentist again. I don't think Kilowattrel's a good mon. Like, Kilowattrel, easily the most disappointing mon on my team last season. I feel like I probably played bad with it too, but it feels like Regieleki that's not as fast and doesn't hit hard enough, right? Because it gets like Air Slash or whatever it is and Hurricane, but you need Rain if you're gonna, like, for me, like I hate clicking blind Hurricanes, especially with the glass cannon like Kilowattrel. That's like, it's like a glass half cannon because it just doesn't hit hard enough, right? And then if you're setting Rain, like, you've got Pelipper, so it's like two of the same mons. So I don't think Kilowattrel's that good. Even next to GU, I think there are better special attackers. And then Tatsugiri Chiyu, I think could be good. I think Tatsugiri is a better special attacker than a lot of people give it credit for.
Oh,
But
definitely.
it's also frail, and if you're wanting to dish out damage with your Tatsugiri at the beginning next to Chiyu and then sweep with Dondozo at the end, you're risking getting stuck with half of a Dongiri sushi roll.
Yeah.
But again, I'm being grumpy dentist, so
That's fine. Okay. Speaking of grumpy dentist is gonna like this one. Eevee. Now people can see over here who are people on on PC watching this video, the full spread of this. Like look at this. Last place, 8th, 9th, and then you've got 4th, 5th, 4th, 6th. I said this comes down to, do you care about the double Tauros? If the answer is no, then you need, if you feel like, oh, I don't really care about the double Tauros, then it's, which one of the 2 ones? Yeah, okay. If you don't care about the double Tauros, this team defensively is great, and there's so much, offensive output, just about everywhere.
Oh, so you can't bring both Tauros?
No, you can't bring them both to a game.
See, I don't know if that clicked for me when I don't know what I ranked this team.
Oh, apologies. I've gotten that backwards of Eevee's team of so if you don't care about the Tauros, then you can respect that every other mon there is really good. Honestly, on that team, what's the bad mon? Even Veluza is good.
If I had to, I'd say Leafeon, but then you have Murkrow to set up the sun, so
Yeah.
it does have.
But yeah, the problem is that for the people who ranked it last, if you do care that you can't bring both Tauros to a game at the same time, you're really upset because this team defensively is really bad. It's not a great defensively sound team. It's missing a ton of offensive types. I know that he thought that he could bring them both, and then when we told him oh, you can't bring them both, he instantly goes and gets Gastrodon and Veluza. So now he can bring a fire type and a water type at the same time.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that don't care about the double Tauros. I almost like it because it's what Tauros am I going to have to deal with this week?
Yeah. Dentist, what about you?
It's kind of I get it. It's also an opportunity cost thing. I really like PurpleReign next to Murkrow,
Oh, yeah.
especially in draft, right? You can set Sun, you can set Tailwind, you can. I think the thing that's going to be underrated until he blows someone away with it is Feather Dance.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So that's the first thing I remember I stomped drops with Feather Dance. I brought a whole physical team I brought max defense, max HP, Feather Dance, Murkrow. And so he's going to bring Feather Dance every single week. And that makes PurpleReign such a pain to deal with. So I'd like to see some changes in the back end, pick some stuff up, but I think that's going to be irritating to deal with for a lot of people. Bring Clear Amulet against his team.
Oh, yeah.
Consequences.
The last one we have to do, because everything else we covered before the PowerPoint crashed, is Mr. CheatTwoWin. We ranked CheatTwoWin in at number 10. So not a great draft. Where did I put CheatTwoWin kind of high? What was my reasoning for it? Oh, okay, I can see now. Defensively, on paper defensively, this team's very good, and it also has a lot of it has a lot of coverage types. He has a lot to hit a lot of things super effective. But now that I'm looking at it, I am aware, obviously, that Iron Treads, Driftblim, Hawlucha, Salazar, that 4 is just not a good 4.
No, I don't. I don't like the Iron Treads pick.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna be honest. When I ranked the team, I went Iron Treads, and my opinion instantly dropped just because I don't think Iron Treads is good.
It's not.
Sandy Shocks is niche, but I respect the Sandy Shocks pick, right? Iron Treads, I'm no, just pick a different one. Iron Thorns. but slightly better. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't like Iron Treads. And then
There's
Indeedee
also, I
feels
think-
weird next to Tyranitar.
There's a very severe lack of immediate damage, threat. Given that Tyranitar's slow and the tailwind setter on this team is Drifblim ? And Rotom Wash wants to set up, Tinkaton wants to set up, Hawlucha needs. I feel like honestly, if you cover the Indeedee Hawlucha lead, you kind of cover everything.
Yeah. Well, and that's I don't know. To me, the best teams in draft have aren't necessarily hyper offensive teams, but have at least a couple hyper offensive mons that force you when you're team building, right? So Jay Walker right there next to it. It's okay, if I'm prepping for his team, I'm running Palafin calcs, right? Stacks, I'm running bundle calcs. KD, the Ape and Roaring Moon calc, and it forces you. Everything you build suddenly has to be built around these calcs, and there's nothing like that quite on CheatTwoWin's team. Everything needs too much setup. Okay, Rotom Wash can nasty plot, but right,
yeah,
Hawlucha, yeah, but Hawlucha's Hawlucha, right? It's not
Yeah.
Dynamaxing. And even when it could Dynamax, it still wasn't that fantastic. But yeah, I want a little hyper offense.
Yeah, Mike, you mostly the same?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what if there was a plan into some of these mons. Sawsbuck, I have no idea what it's doing there. Quillfish is Intimidate. Appleton, has been fun to see used throughout the last few seasons. I
love the apple.
I'm kind of with Dentist. I saw Iron Treads, I was like, oh, that's a pick. And then just kind of.
Which, I mean, granted, he's 12th, so. But also, yeah.
Yeah, but in that case, leave Iron Treads and take Indeedee and Armarouge. Why didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. That's all the people no one who took Indeedee female, I think, actually took Armarouge. And
Yeah,
I think
it went
was,
all people with Indeedee male.
And it was possible. Because I think in my draft too, I think what's his name that drafted Indeedee female, I don't think took Armarouge, and I was expecting that the whole draft until it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's broken in meta, it's gonna work in VGC.
Oh yeah.
In draft. When you have less answers for it.
Alrighty. I think that'll do it for now. Thank you very much for
Can I
coming
say
out.
one last thing?
Go on.
KD, Confused, and Lily all have the same team.
Yeah, they're all identical.
They'll have legit the same team. And it's very cute.
I can't wait for one of them, one of that trio to be put in a cross match in finals at some point.
Did you see KD's Eevee Roaring Moon live a dazzling gleam from
Life Orb Fluttermane? Yeah.
Fluttermane? That was sad.
What? Oh gosh.
Yeah. AV Roaring Moon lived a Life Orb Dazzling Gleam from Fluttermane, and we were okay.
I was 252. I was timid, but I was still 252. That was and then I called
that should never have lived that hit.
And went full para. That was sad, but that's okay. It was a fun match.
Alrighty. Thank you again to everyone for coming out and for watching the other parts of this video. I'm very sorry that it crashed. I'm also very sorry I didn't hit save beforehand. It's my fault. I know that the weekly recap video will be out in about 3 days, so you can look forward to that.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. I apologize for being grumpy, Dentist, but I love you all, and you're all better Pokemon players than me, so I look forward to watching you play.
Alright, Mike, any last words?
Shout out to Torkoal going number 1. Man, it's gonna be so fun when I don't bring it against Kid.
Sorry.
Kid was so put out when you took Torkoal 1 and then proceeded to build his Sandy Shocks team.
I just wish I could have had a live reaction to that.
Live Wo-Chin reaction. Oh, that was fantastic. And Seph just silently picks up Tinglu at 3rd.
Yeah. Hey, I got Tinglu at 11th.
I know, that was impressive. Oh, I got Fluttercoal at 7th, so
Yeah. All right.
who knows what's going on. Okay, take it easy, gentlemen. Thank you.
Bye now. Thank you very much. Love you all.